Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you're new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Meanwhile, we will see the call fields. See add fields and here add fields. When we want to create any fields, when we want to create any calculated fields in Prism, we always need to do add field. When we do add field, be able to click over here and be able to see this window over here. In function library, I can see the function, but let's see this field. This is not for me. What I will do is I will click on this box. This will do what? Here, if I click here, I can also type the formulas over here. I can type what are formulas which I want. But if I want to type it in a separate window, I will click over here. It will expand it, and here all the which are widely used calculus will show here on my screen. We will decide the fields which are widely used because there are too many varieties and it depends on the scenario which to use when, and already that the query is mentioned in that which how to use what can fill. Here, first of all, there are different function library over here. If I view the conversion is basically used to change the data type. Let's say if the data type is we are not able to change. Let's say here we go, the phone number is there and we can change it from phone number to text. It is easy, but there are some data types which we can't change. For that what we use is we use these conversions. Conversion or nothing, they are just conversions of the for any part for a particular in particular data to string. If we use this to string and the name of the field, it will be done. First of all, how the query works, always when I create any logic over here, equals to sign is already by default implemented over there. Let's say I want to write a name of the call field which I want to change. First of all, let's say I want to substring. I will only want to pull first name and last name's initial Steve M and then full stop. Use two functions over here. First of all, we were to is do the substring and then concatenate the full stop with it because currently we don't have the full stop over here. Yes, you can see when I close, it equals to marks which Formula 1. It is by default already there. When I click over here and I want to see and I will in square bracket, when I will do square bracket, automatically two square brackets will come and will give you list of the fields which I want to use. Here all the fields available in the data set. It will be visible over here. First name, last name, location, country, phone, number and new fields. I want to use last name, but now I want to use a function to do the working on it. I will remove it and I will see that I want to substring. When I will search it, it will ask that in text that is a cala field with the name of substring. When I click on this arrow, I will be able to see the syntax. What is the syntax? That substring equals to string and start and end. What the string means? String means that it will be only able to substring the text fields only. We won't be able to substring the dates or the numeric ones. For that, I need to first of all convert those into the, what I will do is, first of all, I will convert those. I will go to the conversion and I will use two strings. And I will convert two strings and name of the fields. That's a phone number. Then phone number will be converted into a text. Once it's converted to text, then I will be able to use a substring. Let's say here we have this available for us. We already have the last name in the text format substring name, comma 01. This is an example of it. Here what we do is we will do a substring. Substring, it will pop a substring. It will give tab and it will give us a bracket. In bracket, what will enter is will enter. In the square bracket, last name, and it is asking from where to end. If you can see the start and end from where it should begin the it from where should begin the substring and where it should end. It should start with the 0 with the absolute number over here 0 and comma 1. It should end at 1. And when we give apply, we are able to see that the last name will be substring as Steve Morgan, as Steve, M. Logum, Neil, and Teresa. Monk M. Donald Trump T. This is how substring works. It depends on my scenario. I have to go through all, means all these caliphils, and to see which one is suitable for me, which one. Here let's say with the substring there is also an functionality that when we do a substring it is important. I mean, when we do a substring, we can also do a nesting, a caliphils also. What is the meaning of testing? A calculation inside other calculation. One question here. When do we need these kind of scenarios in the real time? When, what scenarios we use? Substrings or call speeds in real time, correct. Here what happens is, let's say we want to send the data of the gender. Let's say it's a male and female. There are two options. First of all, we will use when condition, logical condition, in which we mention if male them n or will substring the male and female based upon it. This is the scenario. Then you want to code anything, or let's say we want to shorten the length of anything. What happens is when you send the file to an external system, it has some data limits that it shouldn't be exceeding such data limits. If it exceeds, then it will throw some error. Let's say address is there. Address can be long. It can be tell. It can be the shortest 10 to 14 characters or some address. Might go up to 50 character as but a system. On the other hand, they don't need such many information and they want to limit it because they are ingesting the data somewhere. In order to do that, we will do the substring at 0 and let's say the window. Let's say we mentioned that the substring shouldn't be more than 15 characters. It will substring that from 0 to 15 only. It's basically the limitations on the receiver end. When we publish this data set, there won't be an issue. Let's say we publish this data set, it won't be an issue. But when we had to save the files to other system, it happens other case, other scenario, which I will explain. Let me give the cancel to it. Let's say here Steve and Morgan are in two different columns. But let's say there are scenarios and Steve and Morgan are in one column only. Full name is given, but now we want full name separate. We want full name as a column, but we also want segregated first name and last name. What we will do is we will substring. We'll substring based upon the first name and last name. Got it? Yes, yes. These are the scenarios. Practical scenarios. We don't have data available. Let's say first time and last time is not there. Use it. Then let's say, then another example. Let me check a substring. Let's say I want to expect only date. Let's say if there is any field with the name of days, that for the current one, it's wise. 8 people. There's a Steve Morgan is joining on the 2 days, the 2nd October. It says Steve Morgan is joining on the 27th October. Then what I will do is I will create a calculated fields in which it will only bring me the days. What I will do is I will first of all convert the date into the text format. And I know that the date format is in these terms, 22/10/2024. If this is the case, then I know that first 0 to 2 characters is my date. And if I don't know, if my date is in this format, 10 October, which is the October, then here 22 and here 24. Here I know that 0 is this 1, 1, 2 is this 3. I will only extract, it will start from 4 and it will end at 5. I will get only this much. And let's say I want the hiring data. Let's say I got a hire data. I will give another example. Let's say I got a data of the people who are hiring in particular month. But I don't want the column in the date format. I want to the filter based upon it, but I only have the hire date. That's Steve Morgan. Hire date is 2nd October, Logan. McNeil, 20 October. Donald Trump, I have 20 October. What I will do is I will substring it. What I will do is, let's say the date format is in this 2022, 10, 2024, 2024. I will substring only. And this month, this much thing that I will get the highest for on a monthly basis that 10 October 2024, highest list will come. Let's say on in October 2024, 100 people got hired in. November 11, 11, 24, 120 people got hired. These are the kind of fields which I have used in my practical scenarios. The project which I was referring to, I was working on a hybrid working. In that also, it was there that the hybrid working data was based upon the dates. That if I am taking hybrid working today, I will mention that on 2nd October, I took the hybrid working. And then 4th October, I took the hybrid working. But I want to combine the data based upon the months. What it is. I did the grouping of the data based upon the month. I substring the date and pull out the month of out of it. Any questions is here you got it, but in substring also. Now we will be able to do the nesting of it. The next thing is what one calculator field under the end. Under the calculation, let's say I created a substring, but my main goal is to have the data in this in m and dot, but we don't have. If we don't also, why? To create too many calculator fields, we can do the nesting of it. Nesting is creating calculate field under the another calculator field. For that, I want to concrete it. I will try on that one cat. In concrete, I will click, but this is the concrete in the month date year. What I will do is I will type concate here. I will click over here and concate then here. I will put this thing, I will control. I will give control X. I will put this in control V over here and then I will mention comma, not comma. I will create this bracket in here. And what is the logic? Says that what I want to concrete it, I will mention the fields that I want to add a full stop. I'll give a plan. It has given me error. I will see it. What is there an expression on K. This is a bracket. I will check some calculus as a won't work in the next thing. You need to be very cautious regarding it, but some things won't work in the nesting. Let me remove this. Give a plan. I think we need to do the concatenation after the elements in the next is in the next one, but you understand the conversation. Supplied, we can do the nesting of it if I want to do it. And another example of and concrete is what? Let's say I have the date format. Let's say 2020-10, 2024. Here I have format in this format. What I will do is the goal is to get the data in this format 10, 2022, 2024. For this, what I can do is I will go the excellent explain you. I have formatting when this format and my requirement is to get the format in this. Yes, this is a US version and this is the Indian version from Indian version. I wanted the state version. What I will do is I will create 3 calculated fields. First of all, I will do a substring and I will create a call field with cfday and I will and my condition what it will be. It will be substring and date means this date comma 0 comma 2 first 2 characters of it and give this it will give me the day. Here let's say this is the calculated field I've got. I'll get 22. Then I create a call field which is a date of month and here call field with the date of year. Likewise, here it is there. Let me paste this. Here it will be a I can't do 2, 1, 3, 4 onwards. Let's say I have 4 and I will 4 here. Likewise, here I will give 6 will be the that dash will be there, forward slash will be there. 6, 7, L 8 and 9. I will give 10 over here. I will give enter. Here I will get 10, I will get 20, 24. Now I will do the concatenation. What I will do is I will give a concat and then I will mention whatever the functions I want. I will mention that concatenate in the bracket. Let's see that cf1, then comma, then I have the calculation. I have the calculation. I don't have any calculations. Calfill is there. I am entering in a, you can see I am entering in a, this bracket one, square bracket. Yes, square bracket. But the fields which I don't have, what I will do is I will do this. I will do this opposed. This inverted comma. In that I will mention slash and I will enter my. I will close it and then comma and then this and then comma and then this and then the last one which is cf here. When I get the output of this, I will get the output in this format. Here what you are using is the fields which you have in square bracket will enter the existing which are available. See if month and day was available, but we don't have any. Character with the we don't have fields with which contains the character is forward slash. For it, enter the in inverted comma. I don't want forward slash, I want dot. I can add it here. Let's say 1 dot. I can add that dot over here. It complete. Let's say I want to type ites. I can type a bees as it's completely on me. It's a free text. Whatever I enter in inverted comma, it will come as it is. It was considered as a string. Any confusion still here? No, that's good. Yes, before doing that, before I explained you, before we create this, I need to convert into the date as here what I will do is first of all, I will use 3 fields here. You see, I will use 3 series of the data. First of all, I will use to string. To string a call fill, then I will use substring. And then I will use concat. I am using 3 types of calculated field in my this logic. First of all, I need to convert that date into a text format. Then after, can you text format? I will be able to do the substring of it. After doing the substring of it, I will be able to do it on my basis. Let's say I want your first. I can also do. I can bring the year first as it is completely upon me. I will just go through the calculator. Fields and I will explain which are the mostly used ones. Let's say cast is there. I want to cast 1, 2, 3 as long. I'm mentioning that. Casted this one. 2, 3 is long. Long we mentioned the data types that It has certain character limits from minus. Let me show this slide to here. Yes, long. Long is a 64-bit integer and the 32-bit integers you can see that the length of this is very long. It can accommodate more number of characters into it. That is long. Then two integers decimal long, double and extract the amount. Let's say if there is any currency and I want to extract the currency out of it, I can extract it. It returns a numeric ones. Then we go to these are used but very less used to currency, to Boolean true or false condition. Let's say if I am having yes, no, that's calculated field is active string. If there is a calculated field with the name of active yes or no, it will take it as a Boolean. I have to build a currency. Then I want to date. Let's say here I use these three calipers. Let me go over here. I use this three calipers, but I want this again, this for intro date format. I will use another calipers to date. First we do from date, we convert to string, then we did the substring, then we did concrete, and after that we converted back again to the because still it's in stops in the string format, mix format, and then we need to convert it back to the date format. This is the conversion, nothing, just a basic conversions of the data type, then the date. Let's say I want to add the date. Let's say I want to add the date for a particular set date, add date and time. Here's the fulfill quantity. The best example is invoice date. I want to add 45 what date? Month a day, month a year. What we mentioned that 45 and day, it will add the 45 into that day format. Got it? Yes. The practical purpose of this is, let's say I created a job requirement for this, and when we create a, what happened was I had a requirement. In that I had a job posting date of the GRs of the job requisition, GR2. And VR3, here we were using VR. What we used to do is we are using an old method. I mean, any old method, we weren't using this Workday for it. We had a legacy system. In that, what we did is we had a job posting date. Let me put it over here. X control V job post. This is job requisition, job posting date. Now, earliest field date. I am explaining the practical scenarios. That it will be very much clear for you. Job requestion is here and we want to. Let me remove this. Yes, earliest hire date. Here we have this earliest hire date job posting. Now we only have these two columns, job request and job posting date. And job posting date is, let's say 10/10/10/24, and then we have 22/10/24, then we have 26/24. Now the earliest hire date for this is 27 in this. Now all these field it is. I want to do the completion. I want to hire someone within 1 month, not more than that, but I don't have this cash field. What I will add is I will add 30 days to it, or I will add a 1 month to it. 10 is there. My call field will be here. If I see the substring, it inverse this. What I will do is I will go to the actual, and my formula will be is equal to date, add, then I will mention in the bracket the of posting, because I am using this already, a delivered field, and I will close it here, and I will mention one, and I will give close. I will add month and then close. What it will do is it work now. Because it is here, I'm doing equals. To Excel is considering and it is converting. I'm removing this equal to sign for understanding. Date add month. The posting date, then I will mention one, this. I hope this is understandable why we are using. I have given you one practical scenario where I used it recently. Job posting that. I just wanted to add that earliest, which should be had within 1 month because the HR given targets to when to hire because this field is not there. We are only getting these two columns and this needs to be created. We don't have this. We create based upon the requirement. This is the add one. This is minutes between. I want to extract the minutes between that. Particular. Let's say there's a business process running. I want to see that in how many minutes. Setting is done. It's a finding. It is finding the difference of it than a year's difference. How much your difference there. That now versus user's birthday to calculate the date of the birth. I want to know that how many the person is, how many years old. What I will do is year and now. Now it will automatically calculate today's date. Let's say 7th October and the birth date is, let's say, of 1988. It will pull. It will calculate the year difference between both of them. The syntax is year difference, one date and time and second date and time. It will do the calculation based upon the subtraction of date. And today I want to get today's date. It's a dynamic field. And it will pull the today's date. I have to extract hours out of the date. As I told you, we don't have. You have to understand. We don't have. We don't have a date. Time is a separate one. But we have a concept of date and time. Let me type over here. The date and time is there. Date and time will be in which format? Date and time, it will be 10. It will 1000 to 2024 and there will be timers. Now the time is, let's say, use. Now it's 7 p.m. 7 p.m. It will be 9:10 sounder, or let's say 05 here at 6 minutes now and Zoded, it will be in 25. Ras manner. Let's say I want to extract out of this field. I want to extract any particular. Let's say I want to extract a 19 will be extracted. That is how. Let's say I want to extract only month. I'll be able to extract it. Yes, there are two methods. One I can do. The concatenation. Here I do the concatenation. Here what I do, concatenation, I actually extracted day, month. Other option is this. One other option is that week I will extract. Day out of the particular date and we automatically pull me this one. Oh, this I is conquered here because the date wasn't in a particular date format. That's why I used the existing one. It was in numeric format only 22/10/2024. It was in numeric format and the Workday wasn't able to identify because the data wasn't in a good manner. There are chances that we will transform the data. Why? Because the data which we get from the external system, the data is stored in a very different way. We need to further. Main reason for is to convert in a format which is supported by the Workday. Here they will be covered. This one, I just extract video to get milliseconds, days, between seconds. Between it will find a difference between a truncate if you want to shorten it, the shorten the length of the date and the information is There it is for validation, as it says around. If it is there, it will give us yes or null. Here is a syntax is valid as a row for function that runs 0 if the return value is null, and if 1 is returned, value is not null. It is used for validation purpose. Then there's instances. Instance is create, contains any. Let's say I got a field. Let's say I want to create an instance. There is an email and I want to create a work instances based upon work email and personal email. I want to create a multi instance. Fill out of it, I can create an instant of it. Or let's say I want to count the instant. I got a field which is an instance. Let's say I want to count the number of dependents. How will I do it? It will be tricky for me to do it manually. It's a worker. Is there worker and dependents? I think I gave you this example earlier as instantly yes. Instance once here the dependents, here it is 1000 water. I will use the same one to explain in here. Now this is in multi-instance and relation is their relationship. Now into one to count that for each worker. How many in, how many our dependents are there. I will use this count. I will use this instance count, and when I do the instance count, I will get 3 over here as a count. Instance count, it is used for different methods. Let's say I want to see that worker is there and he has phone numbers. Worker is there and he has phone numbers, phone number, phone and category, here phone. Number are there. Let's say 1, 2, 3. Is there 2, 3? There, then this is there now. This phone number is personal. This phone number is personal. Now this is home, personal as in cell phone, or let's say type me cell phone. And this is office work phone. I want to see that how many this person holds, how many contact phone numbers this will. I will use the instance and I will get the number of comfers 3. Also the other if you want to. See the practical scenarios of it they are. Recently I used it for this, my job request. In job requisition the data was there is a GA which is let me remove this and let's say there is a job requisition and the number of candidates for it, Gorun. Has and the list of candidates who have applied for it. Candidate East, that person. As that's a Steve applied and Logan applied. Donald applied, all these people applied to it. And let's say here for GR2 only, Joe applied, I want to see that which JR is in high demand or which has too many backlog. Because the number of candidates are more, I need to address for that GR first. Because I need to schedule the interview accordingly, I created a child field and I did the instance counts. Here I will get 3, here I will get 1. Yes, this is the practical scenario when you also appear in the interview as you might be asked. They got in the scenario that I have this, which calculus should I use? Based upon this, you will be able to identify that which calcul will be easy for you to identify this thing. Or you can also say, they say that I use this calcul. In under this scenario, if they don't give you a practical scenario to work upon correct. Now we covered this instance. Has different create multi-instance. I told you that there are 3. Context. I want to merge it and create a single instance. I can do that. And there are too many. I will cover all the ones which are major use. And there's a case, yes, where a case is. This is the case where we use when and if condition. Here is a case where gender equals to male and it should be given as male, then gender is female, then should become as female. F is their natural is known as females unknown. This is what? This is a condition we are basing. We can also mention that blank or not. or not. Written that, basically it identifies it. Let's say we get the data. What happens is sometimes we get the data in crypt chrome format because let's say some system are there which I work, it only stores the data not male, female as but indicative ones, MNF, that we can use it by a mapping of it. Male, female, we will give exact instruction or as unknown because sometimes what happens is sometimes there's a new trend that people generally don't want to reveal their gender, that they keep it empty in that terms. In the where it is empty or null, we will mention as unknown. That is for logical one. Then once we covered as logical, then there is a math. Math is under calculation. I want to find the row function. Let's say I want to find the exponent of this particular value. It's a mathematical formulas. This scenario will come when you want to perform any mathematical things. There is the mod is 18. 7 is there. It will find the mod of it. Yes, by that you will find we will be able to find the mod then round. Round is very, very much to use. Rounding is what round is. Round is a function that rounds on numeric values for specific number. This can be done by two methods. One method is that I substring the text, substring what that I substring it that after I want these two numbers and after two numbers, whatever it is. Or let's say I did it from the bottom. I did from the bottom that I want only the first four characters of it. I can do it. Another is rounding, that what I will do is I will round. I will mention the field that round. This particular one up to 2 decimals. This is the example of it. This is that cravate, that crown, and then the color, the field which is in decimal, and then I will mention how many decimal value of credit. I will give 4. After 4, 7 it will come as after 47 it will come as 78 as 46, 78. And as we are aware of the concept of the decimal, if the value is 46646 there and the remain and the after amount is 7, that will consider it as a 47. But let's say this is 46 and it is say 1a, it will count it as 44. Basically, it's a grounding only. Then we use floor. Floor is used for what floor is used to. I need to get the latest value. 4 is a row function. That is the largest long value that is less than or equal to the input argument. Floor, that floor is, let's say there's a decimal. I want to identify the upper floor or the lower. Float 32 is there. It shouldn't be coming decimal. It should be counted as 33 or 30, 32. Whichever is the nearest one, it will count as that one only because some system doesn't work in a decimal format. We want to let them know that for this particular value, only use the in a full number, no decimal, only integers. In that it will find the nearest one to get the accuracy. It will automatically that the 32.67 is there. It will automatically equal to the 33. But let's say it's 32.4. It will automatically go to the 32. This is the math function. Then here there is text. Text is very widely used. Here is reverse. Let's say we want to reverse any. It criteria ABC. It will count as CBA. This is generally used for masking the data. Let's say I want to ingest the data, but I want to mask it. I don't want to do it as it is. What I will do is I will reverse it. When I reverse anything, let's say if there is a name, that's a name is Steve and I will make opposite of it, it will be EVE. VVTS, it is very hard to understand. Basically what we are doing is this is generally what masking is. The concept of the marking is it will do this Steve and this thing will come. It is hiding the number of characters. But this is one method of masking. The other method is that convert the data and then ununderstandable format which people are not able to understand it. Then trim option is there. Trim is also similar to the substring, but here trim is a row function, removes the leading and trailing spaces from a text. As you mentioned, we forgot to remove the white spaces. You remember, you asked me a question that what if there are white spaces? But I didn't enable that for trim function over there. It because somewhere in other fields I want it for a particular field. I want to eliminate the leading spaces that I can do it from trim. It will remove the leading and trailing white spaces, which are the empty spaces. Then this is a proper. This is a, let's say, Main Street is there to convert this text into the proper format. I wait to be. Proper format is what a capital is. It will capital all of them, but proper is it will capitalize all the first character of every word. In Main Street, it will do capital of M, and there is this file name join strings, the JSON double. There are too many formats, but which are not all are used, only some are only used. Let's say I want the length of the name. I can also use the length of the name. What is the length? Let's say if I want to create a condition that if address, I want to substring an address. But if address length of, let's say name, for last name is more than one, then I will do the substring or not. Here I will use what combination of case? Case when length, then of first name is greater than 1, is greater than, let's say, 10. If someone's first name is greater than 1, then I will mention then substring. Substring first name. Substring first name from 0 to 10. 0 to 9 cleared. Else, I will mention else first name. And I will give and I will give apply. When I do it, what's it? I cannot compare it. The text value of in feature. I can't compare with the value because it's a length is there. First name, I can't do it. I can compare it, but basically you understand. I can create such kind of conditions when I convert into this particular format code. Let's say I give here rather than giving for I will first name. I'll give the phone number. And here I think phone number is in numeric form. I don't think it will do the substring of it. It won't work. No, it will show the same error. Function length expect argument text, but argument is Boolean. But the main concept is to create such scenarios for us. We covered this text here. Then this lower and upper is used. The value of is to convert the characters, the lower characters, because what happens is some system are there in which we get the data in capital is only the data is stored in capital format. The field name, the data name. You might have seen the government forms. Yes, they asked us to. Yes, they're in capitals only. They also use the same data type to store it into the system. Let's say we want to do a proper text or lower text. We can do it from here, upper, lower than concrete. Then this is for text and this is URL. URL is just to get the URL host or some details. I want to post a URL website that I want. To add a returns is a row function that returns the host domain, IP address or portion of the URL string. Let's say I want you a host of the URL, which is the hosting one. This is something technical, but be able to get the URL in that format. It will. Let's say here I think HTTPS. This is known as the host of it. It will pull me that particular value out of it. Then there's a window function. Window function is doing the average, some average minimum tank first and last or count or maximum. Let's say I want to see the maximum number. Number of what is the max value, maximum salary among the workers who has the highest salary. It will give me the maximum among all of them. Clear? These are the existing list of cal files which are used. You can see how many cal files are there. Not all are used. I covered the one which are mostly used, and all the cal files use case are determined based upon the usage types. It is not always necessary that we will get this thing in a particular. It will not work. One casual won't work for every case. Every scenario will have different approaches to it. And there might be two approaches, as that I mentioned for the date, that two approaches for it, but for that which one to use, it is up to us. Any confusions over here in this, feel the thing. Not really, but I did practice. It will take a little time. Until I do, I'm following you now exactly in. Let's say somebody will introduce these kind of questions. They ask, do cal fields, how we do, or what are the type they will ask. Just in case, will they focus on this kind of scenario as would have to go inside. See if you appear for a business analyst role, business analyst for Prism. They will ask you for your understanding on the data flow type. Ask you for how the data sets are created or how will the data flow. They will ask how you will use the stages which are join union group, by and or but when they want to. But if you join as a Prism consultant, as a technical person, because it has also bifurcation networks, if you join as a Prism consultant, they might give you a case it. It depends on the mood of the interview. Interview that if I want to do this, which function will I use? They won't ask you the string, but realize that is there any function to do this? If they ask that if there's a address with, let's say, 50 characters and more than 50 characters, but I only want up to 10 characters, is there any careful which does that? You will say yes, or there's a careful with the name of substance which does that. And also, let's say you don't remember the name because see, there are too many calculated fields and it is very rare that all of them you will remember by heart. You can mention, yes, there is a call field which does this thing, and in that we can limit the number of characters. He will know that something about it. You will be able to do it because then there is nothing much to do. You just have to know, is this function here or not? Then you can go in the function library. You can search the function and you can pick that syntax. It is not a syntax, the format of the formula, and you can note it down. It is important. That's why what I'm saying is you can practice the major one which are used. The concatenate, concat substring, then convert the data types to string or to date, then to numeric double or to integers, then this logical reasoning, that to then when condition. Here I saw your case, guess when. This is also very much used, what we call very language or expression language in generally. In Prism, this expression is this one only. This is an actual example of a call set, which was created. Case when gender is a call set, sorry, it's a normal field. When gender is M, it should translate it as a male. When gender is F, it should translate as female. Else it should come as an end. I will go to data catalog first of all. And then I will go to yes. Let me know the data sets. And the one which you have created, which one is? This one is yours, one. See what issue we are facing. Let me go to edit transformation. By default, it's going to text field when you add a field, or it captures automatically about the type which gets. Yes, let me hear now. What you want to do is this is effective. It wants you to change it to. Instead of hyphen, you want to change it effectively. You don't. Want to remove the slash and want to replace it with a hyphen. That's why. That's simple. Then for you, you need to create a series of the tail field. What I can do is I can go over here and first of all, what I do is to string and which field. It's to date. Let's say effective date. Once I do it, it will be converted into the string. Then what I will do is, this is in hyphen format. Now what I can do is I will now extract this particular one and arrange in my format. Let me do this, and let me see if it works for to date not or to. If it works, that's fine, or else we need to see a turn. To date over here apply. What is saying? There is an error expression expected, but instead it's service. This is a start not. Here, we need to enter another one. To apply function date expects argument text, but argument text will be provided. Let me check the to date. What this is to order date and to date. This is at no worries. To date is a row function that converts text values into the date format. Now we got a string and we want to convert this effective date to comma and we want to mention it as backward slash and we want to keep this the small dd. And I also need to mention it is this and this. Let me check for talks. There's someone. There's someone. And this one has no choice. Yes, it worked. It worked, but still we need to check this thing. Yes, there is. It is coming in the format which you want, but it's still different. It's not converted completely. We need to basically see it and do it accordingly. Let me go to data again. Again to date. Add, or let me do it in this way, 55 and here mium is there dd apply. Effective date, see, it works a 10119 this. But here the dot is not coming that we and can check out your convert date. For doing that date, we will have to go for a series 1. And first of all, we created this and what we can do is extract. Thank you. I could check R value R. I want day from date and time, which is to date. Let's see how this returns, what this thing that returns. Here it give me then I will add another stage, then I will create another. Call field this, and here I will mention 12C. I will mention this as date. Then here we will use the same, and here rather than day, we will mention month. Month is there, and here we will mention 1 and give. Then we will add another field, and here we will do the same, and rather than we will mention year. We got extracted first. And then what we will do is we get another scale field, and then we will do what is concatenate to string, concatenate to string and base. Then you want to hyphen. Uh, Just a second. Uh, Let's do it for two values. For here we will do, here we will mention two. Thank you. Here, I think how many call this is starting to string on it. String should. And here, and then to string is starting here and converse over here. Check it. It's giving us a little field not found here. We forgot the spell is some spelling mistake. We got. Now what do is we will add this thing again. I will copy this to string here and here. And rather than mentioning the here, we will mention month. And do we got the format as we discussed? 1/1/2017 in this format which we discussed. Correct. Here what happens is sometimes there is no any direct solution to things. What we have to do is we have to create multiple fields, but we have to eliminate the number of fields. Let's say what we did is rather than creating here, we created a day. Rather than creating day, we can also, what we can do is we created day, then this formula only after. It's I can convert to a string and then I can concatenate over here. It's up to me what approach to use. Moving ahead, what I will do is I will hide these fields. I'd hide this thread because this thread is no use for us. We just use for a development purpose only. Correct. Because what happens is the standard format for date is you see the date. It's in /1s. It cannot be conveyed to the hyphens because there are data types we discussed. Let me check if I have that thing handy, data type. the date combined and 24 hours. Basically that it won't come because the formatting of that date is in a way that we won't be able to pull it out for you. A hyphen, the hyphen is not a hyphen, is not a date type slash would be only there. In order to use it, what do is we use in text format, only we won't be able to convert it in the different format. But got it. It's not as simple aside that maybe just create a field and no, I understand. It is good that you have picked these cases and worked upon here if you see if it's in day for the data and time format. And I want to only date, that is what that we also can do. It's basically upon our requirement what we have to do. Yes, and what was the other question apart from this file field? This is the one I was looking in. This one only the thing whenever you want to change. This is managed field that the can you show if you don't. Man again, how to change the same thing. Basically, there are two methods to change it. But it depends. Is it possible or not? That two approaches. Let me show it if it's possible. In the managed field, but the data date type, what I thought was that you had a date in the text format. If that's the case, then we can change in the manage field. But if you want to replace that for forward slash to the hyphen, then it won't be. It won't be possible. Let's still see. Here new field. Is there a new field? Here we can, if it's possible, see here it will show that Boolean integer long double numeric text instance. There's option which we can change to mom not to date. Yes, not the date. Yes, not the date. If we then might there might be an. Also walk around. I am not sure. Still let me check. Let me go into the edit and why this is not showing to me. Let me refresh it, reload. Basically, Prism is kind of easy, but you need to do this thing. It sometimes feels tricky, but if you see the manual function, why insist on? And taking the function library because function library is very important for us is the Bible for us to refer. What other approach we was referring to? Then after concatenate what again? Do is we can convert into the numeric to let's say to date if possible. I'm not sure if it will work or not. I'm just taking it if it works because apply. No, it won't work because here there is a format string exchange bit, but instead it got this one. Let me add here and you apply function to date expect text, but argument text we are provided only one argument was provided to date, and here we will check for to date, and for to date what was it? It was ordered it, and then it will provided the format of it. Hello. Yes, here they have it. Basically, this syntax won't work over here. What you can do is we can change the type to a numeric sum, maybe to string and after string. It might work for us. This is yes. Not string. Sorry, my bad, not string integers. Oh no, but it won't take an integer as because it has integer. Let me try if it works. Because we have that hyphen, it won't take. In error also, you will see that the hyphen is there. It won't take in that case. That, but you got it if you want. To convert it, we can do it, but then we need to keep in text only this is the thing. And I will remove this. You can take it as a reference for you. Now let me close it, only that it won't leave. Yes, and any doubt other than a part. from this, oh, that's what I tried it. I didn't cut it. I said, no worries, no. Basically, it's a bit tricky. See everything you see, though I say I'm experienced in Prism. But there are different scenarios, and there are chances that I won't have worked in. For this one, you won't remember all the time. Yes, yes. And also, what happens is that we still need to check the different approaches for it. In the current example, what it is, I created a snapshot. Let's say this is a date which you mentioned over here. If I open and show it to you, I created a date and I wanted a snapshot of it. That effective date was there. I want a snapshot that this particular snapshot belongs to which group, which month. What I did is I expected this month and I expected the year when I completed by month by this format. By let me type over here by my in this format. What will happen in that case is when I go here, I will get in lower 1 by 2T18. I know that all this record belongs to the January 2018 only or the list of workers. That is what snapshot month is. Here we get the date on daily basis. 1st Jan, 2nd Jan, 3rd Jan that I get for a monthly basis. But in that also what I did is that snapshot month. Basically it's a kind of a date format. In Excel what we do is we generally have YMI as it will give us. But here the formatting is different. That's the only difference. I need to keep it in text format only. That was the issue for me. Yes, we you also want to cover on the report which we created. Let me create a quick report that I actually today only. I created two reports, DV worker data and DV org data. We will start working with it, but first of all I will create a small report for not. A small but at least two field report. I will do that, it will be easy for you to understand. Let's name it as name is RR2PM test report. And I will mention as advanced disclosure. Worker fee. While selecting data source also, we have selected data source, workers for HCM reporting. This is the data, how to decide this one. Data sources, I was little confused here. Also, what data source is? Actually, that is a very different concept, which is in the reporting ones. But if I give an overview, we select the data source based upon the data we want to extract. If I click on these three dots, which is related action, I will come to know that what this data source will get us. This data source accesses the worker as a primary business objects and returns one row per worker and includes all active and terminated workers. Active workers already related objects are reported as of the current date. What I came to know is that it will have workers as a primary business object and it will include all the active and terminated workers. But let's say if I go to, are you aware? With this, regarding business process, no, not under. Just no little, let me check if I get something for payroll. This is payroll results. If I see, I will get accesses payroll result as a primary objects and returns one row per payroll result. What is payroll result? Let's say for a worker, if any. Payroll is being processed. Let me go to any profile and show you Logan McNeil here and let me go to payroll. Pay and result, yes. These are what payroll results 1, 2, 3, 4. What would it? What it will pull, it will each this when I run this report. I will get a 1 row per payroll result And for the worker, I was getting 1 row per worker. One worker can have multiple payroll, result correct, and I don't want worker, but I want multiple payroll result. That is why what I choose, what type of data output I want. Then there are also let's say if I want any data regarding compensation, let's say if I'm not sure if there is any particular data sets, there will be something, but not in this compensation. Compensation changes. It will have all the data for compensation, all compensation events, all compensation grades that it then. Let's say time off is there, it will give me each record for time of types. Time off status is time off taken by date. Here, if I click on it, I will come to know access the time of entry as a primary object. Time of entry objects returns 1 row per time of line one worker took. And on 3rd October, then he took on plant October. Then there will be 2 entries for that line. Yes, based on yes, based upon your requirement, we choose it. Which kind of data source will do. I was thought of creating something. This is the safely worker for HCM reporting. And when we click, it will give us that all active workers for now. As beginner, you can take this as a reference. All active workers, I will go over here. Here I will mention as employee ID. Employee ID. I will mention that I will go to worker. Now one thing to be keep in mind is when we create a custom report to be used for Prism, we won't use business object as a multi-instance. What is multi-instance? I'll give plus and let's say I mentioned dependent over here. Oh, dependent. See, this is a multi-instance field. 3 lines. Are going out of it. This is our dependence. I won't use this here. If I want multi-instance, I will take worker over here and worker over here, and then only I will use dependence. Dependence. We won't be using this over here, and let's say by any reason if it's not coming here and we want here, then we have to create a calculate field by which this particular field will come on this particular business object. But it is important to keep primary business object only here. Then once we created it, we only will create for 3 lines and go to advanced and enable for web services. And we will enable for Prism, and I will click for enable worksheet as for our reference. One question. Yes, no issues. I was looking no little bit. In currency thing, if we want to add a field currency, yes, we will. Is there a way to add it now or now? Yes, see as I enter this. To and once I do it, and let me do this and enable this. This has been enabled. See automatically options. Show currency code. Column came over here. Yes, now give. Here I don't know why it's not populating. Ideally, it should populate XML allies report. Prism prompt we are also. Another thing to be kept in mind is when we create a report, we shouldn't be keeping any prompts. A prompt as an empty ones. We need to mention what are the outputs of it. Here there is no any compulsory fields to be keep in mind. There is no any compulsory field. What we'll mention is do not promote the runtime, use the referred prompts. That was, and when we will give it, will automatically save it. This is actually the different concept of reporting, but the things to be keep in mind is one thing, don't include the visit any multi-instance field over here, and always go to advanced and click on enable as web service. Yes, enable for tourism as yes. And if we have any prompts, in this case we have three prompts. Either we should give any value to it, or, and if it's not compulsory, we can give. Do not prompt enter runtime. It will give default values for this particular criteria. When I go to the data catalog, I will go to create or not derive to test it. I will click on create from custom report and search for the report. See, it came over here. This one, and restrict in the environment. And we will restrict it to we can restrict it better, in which tenant it should come. Just a second. Yes, we will not give this for now because we don't have any tenant over here. But if there's, and we'll restrict it, and if we give it the and run frequency, run now. What? When we want it to run, every time when it will run, it will update that and data set with it. We only want run it once. Give here data set name. We will give BDSR. Worker la custom report test AP name. It will get fetch automatically what I want. To do is I want to replace or append. Here replace a workday, release the existing data with the data set and replace it. Append is what it will. Add it, I will give replace. By entering this, we created our base data, set this one. And if I open it in view, be able to see the data of it. Activities. Run integration now, I will run it. When I run the integration now, it will fetch the data from the workday and they'll give over here because we created a data set. We told him that we need to pull the data from this one. Once we do it, it will pull. Fetch the data. Here. We can go and here in the data set, run the integration now. It will pull the latest data. And when I click on this, I will for now. The data is not visible here. If I click the data is coming, let me open and edit format. And also there's a one case, it's a bug in Prism, which you can say sometimes what happens is you won't see the detailed data. Here the data might not pop up, the data will be there. It might be the case when there are too many data available, when there's too much data, or there's some issue with it. You will find this issue, but most of the time you will get to see the data, the demo data on both sides. It is as on this end, just for it. Let's say if you panic that why it's not available, then you are clear that why it is not available. Now you can see that we got the employee aid which you created. Worker dependence here. Dependence, you can see it's a multi-instance field and the total base pay here. You can see that. Used which we added. It came out used in the base report here. This is a base report. Let me run it. Here that same field won't be there. That used won't be there, but it is for us. It will be there because we added an option over here. But if we won't add, it won't be there. See, as currency column is added, that is the same, it is fetching in this one, and when we run a report, it will give us a unique 8 that load id. When this was loaded, it will give us the date of now, that 3/10 October, and this is a unique 8 of it. I remember I told you that I will discuss this in future. This is what I wanted to show. This is ABBPA load ID. What the load ID is of particular this one, it will be same for all of them. It is our one. Let's say we ran an integration. Now when it is useful, let's say, let me open an Excel for you and to make you understand in detail. And are you able to see the Excel screen? Now here, and I will let this, is it visible now? Yes, yes. Let's say now we have got the data of worker and MP ID and 1, 2, and 3, and then the name are, and the name are, let's say ABC. Next was it true? This is what this was the load one. Load one, it will have the details as load one. Basically here, if I show you, this is nothing. This is just a unique it of the load. You can see 68 to V8. This is all the same for all of them. It is not different. Why? This is used when we give the name of append, not replace. Here what we are selected two options. One is replace and another is replace and another is append. When we append the data and we got the same data, it 1, 2, 3, and here the name is a B and the worker name, what, let's say ABC is only there. D. But now the load, it is different. And here the load, who will be there for all of them. For let's see, got it. In that terms, if I can identify the duplicates. When I append the data, I will know that this data is coming from the second load and second load on which date. I will be able to see the date that this is on. Third one, 3rd October, which is today's date. And why the date? The date is at the time is different. The time it takes. It is a time span, a timestamp, and it takes the date of the tenant setup. Let's say the tenant is set up in the time zone of, let's say, in the SCEST or let's say PST. It will pull that date, not the date in which you are working. Yes, time it takes accordingly. Any confusion still here in understanding this concept? I got. Still digesting it. I got it. I understood. What you are, how you are doing. It's not. Thank you. Now what we will discuss it. First of all, I will discuss the tables. And after tables, I will explain the connections as to you. While creating only, we will discuss. First of all, what we can do is I can create a table in which I will have a data. What does table means? Table and data sets are almost same. But in the table, when we first of all we create a table and then put the data in and then data set. We create the data set first and then put the data in. Let's say a table is there BD and for table we will just short form is TBL worker. For that, and here you mentioned this. And then enable for analysis. I mentioned by enabling all rows the table will count towards the publishing row entitlement. And tag we are not giving the personal data and create. Once we create the table, it will ask us, see, remember, you saw the difference. When we create a table, when we create a data set, it will first ask us the data that please give us the source of the data. But here it is asking for the name first, and then it is asking that what we want to. Either we can do a file upload. Either we can do existing table or data set, but then Workday report, I'll use the Workday. Report, what data report, what? It will give me all the work report which I created. As I mentioned, I created these two reports just an hour ago. I will create this worker and next. Here you can see it has automatically identified that what are the fields? Employee, worker, legal, first name. Height date is in text, age is in number. Location, address, country, dependency. And it has identified currency field as for me. This is just for my reference. This one, yes, I created this report an hour ago before our session. That's the way I created. The same way I just got stuck. I created the same way as we created that test report, our report. Let me show it to you. Already, if we were, because we weren't having any proper case for illustration. I thought to create a two workday reports for you. See, this is the report. A worker, employee, worker, legal name, first age, gender. For this also, I selected this option, enable as web service CS and enable for Prism. I go to here and I will see if I want to change that. Let's say here, it will show me. Edit the schema. This is the step 2 of the creation of the first is I give the source of it. After the source of it, I will edit the schema. Let's say here the location address I don't want in the text format. I want it to in the text format. Format I can convert to instance. It has given me some error. Select a business object. Business object means it will consider cities from which business object. City of what city can be anything, workers, location, city or organization. City, what city? I can mention it over here. Instance, select business object and I can select the business object as worker. I selected the wrong one, a worker here. I will apply. Likewise, I can change the schema from here, but it's good call, convert it to a single instance. And now I want gender into, not instance, but I want it to be a single instance. Text, I can convert it from the text male or female. And then I will do is I will give save. There's one error, invalidate for fields. View table details, check what is the error about. Which event was asking. Cancel discard. Let me start it from scratch for this one. All the data got refreshed. Seems no worries. We will load the data into first. We will create a what do is go over here and we will create a data change task. Create a data change, you are not hitting the thing by the data change task. Data change task is create a connect, establish a connection. Then when it should face the data, here it is asking for source. Here we mentioned proper file or select a file, but we want to change the connection, give a change correction, Workday report and here work. And this one and give next. It will ask my target table worker, data insert or what? Insert, truncate and insert. What are those meanings? You can click on it and it will change it here. What is the meaning of it? Delete it. It will completely delete the data. Absurd is it will insert the data if it doesn't exist. If it exists, it updates the data. Let's Let's say the Logan McNeil is there already and the country is USA, but now we got the new data. The new data load has Logan McNeil, same employee ID. But now the location is London or let's say UK, the country changed it. We'll modify it and not the change the data, and then we will go to next step. Payable missing external. External aid. Back. I think we need to do the mapping of it. Let me create it from scratch. Again, delete this. Create a table level worker data and in the analysis, I guess personal. Data create our workday report. We mention this next. For now, we won't change anything and give save. And then create a data change task. From here itself, change the code. Connection workday report from where it should get delivered. We will mention that DV worker. Data and give next target table this one, and we will mention as truncate and this one. And then next mapping. Mapping will mention that this is that employee should be employee. We are mapping that table data with the worker data. We are just mapping it that. If the when the report outputs as employee, it should store data in what which it should store. Data in employee ID only. Let's say here team ID is there and your employee is there. We can mention. We can change it. They're basically mapping that what output should go in which field, but we should be sure that the data type should be same. This is text format. This is text format. This is instances. Instanza and then date numeric is numeric and give next and give finish. Save and run now. When we give save and run now, that particular thing will be created over here. We will see data change activities. Sometimes it runs. It takes time to run it. Will take time, but sometimes it completes early. Not an issue. Here we can see that a table has been updated with the latest data. If we see and view the table in a new format, and here we will be able to see the data. As I told you, sometimes see it's working, it's retrieving the data. It's working in the background. You might feel that why the data is not visible. Sometimes it also works in the background as it's retrieving. If I go to data change activity and here, DV worker table to table, this is retrieving the data. And it's been 1 minute. It takes time to load it. Any confusions in understanding the table? Are you clear in the table concept? I'm clear. I understood why. Emphasizing on doing the practice more and more because the more you practice, the more it will be easy for you to understand. And if you have doubt, you can get back to me. I won't say, don't ask me question. I would suggest that ask me question as much as possible because when you ask the question, you will come with a different approach, just the hyphen one. It will also challenge me and if not, as I have the answers, I will answer you got. Concept is easy. Prism is not that hard. It's very easy, but it is just to know where the data comes from. That's the tricky part. The more you practice, the more you will be able to learn. Try to give yourself an assignment. Today, I will bring this data. I will do this thing. I was trying to pull the data. I stuck somewhere in there. I don't know what to write next. Let me create a derived data set out of it to explain that explored KL5D. I will just mention as BDS. Personal data. I will explain the explore functions. Here, for what we have is we have the dependents. In a multi-instance field, what we are to understand, the state is explored data set. Edit information. Yes, it's it. Here, as I told you, sir, there are some functions which are new realities of validation and value mapping. If you also go to community, you won't find any description for it. That's why we are not able to cover these two fields, but I will explain the explored one because you also, when you see on community, as still they haven't updated, they have released update, they will soon be releasing it. Let's say before the session ends, if they update the documentation with this, that how we should use the validation and value mapping will cover it up here, which here automatically, if you can see here we have employee worker dependents total this way, that too many differences. But here, if I click, I only able to see one dependent. Why? Because it's a multi-instance field. When I click on it, and it will ask name of the newly created, different and exploded. We'll drop the associated. What it is saying is we will drop an associated report field. You can add the report in A in the managed field. Here what I'm saying, they will drop this existing one and add a newer one and keep null values in a row. I will give preview. I want to see how the data will look for me. Here now you can see, now the look has changed. Now we have two instances for Logan. Why? Because she had two dependents, Megan and Pat. Let's say for Morgan, Steve Morgan. He had one, two, three. Three dependents are there, Josh, Catherine, and Elizabeth. That's why it comes. Created three instance, and you can see employees also same. If you see the similar one, I give the previous one. Here you can see Logan is there too. Steve Morgan has three dependents. This one row has one row only contains the data. This also have one data, but just to break it, we created explode, and which is the output of it. It has created more number of field for us. The number of the row breakups decides that how many dependents they have. Got it, got it. Any confusions in here? Explode means completely detailed. Yes, yes, explode. Is that converting a multi-instance field to a single instance field? How the data is showing up. Did you just export and claim it here? Yes, yes. Let me do it again. No worries, I will repeat it. First of all, our issue is what? Here we have the data type in the dependence format. In the dependence in multi-instance format, this is a symbol of multi-instance one-to-many relationship. One worker is there, it has many relationship with the dependents. Got it. Now what we want is here, it is very hard to identify. Here Megan is there. But if I want to do some calculation or for Megan or for Pat, I won't be able to do it. Correct that it. Let's say I want to add some fields associated with Megan. What I will need is I will need one record for dependent what it got it. Yes. For that, I will explore this multi-instance to convert into the single instance field. For that, go to Add Stage, go to Explode. And when I click it, it will only give me the multi-instance field. Here, in all this data set, we only have one dependent as a multi-instance field. In case multiple days, then what shall we do? It will last multiple also or the same way. Let's say if there is a country, not a country, but let's say if there is a field with the name of payroll results, payroll result line, it will also pop up over here. Because only one field is there, it will show me one field. Let's say there are multiple. It will show me multiple from which I can choose. At a time, I can choose only one field. Got it? Yes, I will do the dependence and then it will ask me the name of the new fields. Then I will give done. Once I give done, you can see that it has now created the field with a new name dependent exploded. Yes, if I want to compare with the previous one, let me close this. This is the previous output. Worker to two in one car, only this. Both we are there, but now there are two records for Logan McTile. One row is for Megan and one row is for Pat. Got it? And it depends on the number of dependents. Let's say Logan has only two dependents. That's why only two it exploded. Multi-instance got exploded into the two rows. But let's say Steve Morgan has three dependents. Here, if I show you Steve Morgan has Josh, Catherine, Elizabeth, it got exploded into three this second, third and fourth what it is. When do we need these kind of scenarios in real time, just in real time? Let's say here only. Let's say I don't have a basin one file. I have a benefit data. Benefit data that who will get in, how much coverage I know that Megan will get her. Megan is the daughter of the Logan and Pat is the spouse of the Logan. She is the daughter. Let me explain into Excel. For now, what have happened is here. We have the data in this format that Logan is there and I know that here I have a Pat who is spouse. And now I have what other name was. It was Megan. Yes, Megan. Yes. Megan. Megan is there. But now this is one file, but there's another. And file in which it is mentioned that Logan has two dependents at and Logan is having another which is Megan. Let's say if any uncertain thing happens to Logan, who will get the full coverage of this benefit, here it will say 100% coverage to Pat because he is the spouse and here Megan will get 0%. Now to replicate the same thing into the Workday, what I will do is I will explore this thing into two instances. I will give Logan and here I will tell you also a Logan and there will be Pat Megan because here for the explanation I explained you but here it is only mentioned. A spouse only, spouse 100. How will I will assign to you spouse and rest to 0. I know that if dependent also, I can also extract relationship as I can assign Pat who has spouse and for spouse it will assign 100% coverage to it. This is a practical example of it. This is the concept of using the explode, but still I would say this is very less used. The major one is using the explode, which are used. I already discussed filtered group by join, manage field union, unpivot is also used. Unpivot is converting the row to the let me check if we can able to input field is let's say worker is there, output is worker and employed is there. And the field name from the input, worker ID and preview. Two errors and the unique name of the output field worker. Output field is unique and it will give it. Select you. Basically, I need to give the same field type for both of them. Let me check if there's anything else what I can bring. Enter the unique name of the worker. Here you can see that what it did is it converted the data into the column. Yes, I'm able. What it did is it converted the data into two instances. Means WPL load ID, which was already there. It was already WPL load ID. Let me show it to you over here. Basically, it is what the name and pivot is what converting the data of the row into the column of the column to the row or vice versa. Let's say here the data was there of this particular of. Let me show the previous data input field. We had WPA load ID and it was in this format. But I want this WPA load ID into the column. I want that it should come in this row. For that I did this one. I go to output field, I'll show you here. You can see WPID, this one. Basically, what I did is I bring it from this column to row. Here the WPA ID is this. I brought it here, I can do it. And for anything, I can do it for others as it depends for what I want to do it. I can convert fields to both of it. Yes, let me give one example. Employee ID, and for this one I think it won't work because the data type is a different still. Let me check if it works. I think the data types should be the same. Yes, employee ID. Select the input that contains the same field type, but it doesn't have the same field type. And preview. Here is the best example of it. A butterfresh. Basic. What it is doing is it is converting the particular column into the other one. If I would explain in that here in the this one is there, and let's say I control C and I want to. Here it is in which column it is in row, but I want in 1, 2, 3. I want whatever this control alter VID task, I will mention it over here. Transpose 1, 2, 3, got it. Yes, basically we are converting from this to this. If it is in this, we will do in this one transpose. It is doing the transpose pivot or unpivot, but this is our very least use. I am explaining you because it's a good to know thing, but it's a very rare use function. The function which I have for this filter group by joint management union, you should know this by heart because there are major news and explode and pivot are the other secondary which are used, and these are the two news and we don't have any much information about this for now. Data change task. You remember we ran data change task to when we ingested the Workday report. Let me filter it out. Yeah. Let me cover it up if not. Here from source is Workday report. DV worker. You remember we created a data change task. Here we created table. What we did is here, if we go to two things and filter by tags, our tag was what? Personal data. You can see here there are 54 data set, but to filter it out, we will use a tag which we are attacked. Here we created PBL worker data and then created a deeds as for where is the deeds. This is where this one for this one. To get the data on a continuous basis, we created a data change task just to show it to you again. What we do is when we create a data set and we create a data change task, what happens is there is that two difference between the table and data set, base data set. Both of them stores the data and work accordingly. But another difference is, first of all, we created the data and then put the data into it. And secondly, we and for the base data set, we first of all select the data and then we create a data set. In table, we create a table and now we want to assign a data change task that it should be getting data on a continuous basis. Let's say here, when I go to first of all, it's asking me to upload a file or drop a file, but I want to see the options. Here are the different options which are used. File upload, Workday report, data catalog as FTP, Amazon S3, Salesforce. These two things are subjective depending on organization, but this thing will always be there. There's four things. Here we created a Workday report, and when we create a Workday report, it is asking me which Workday report to choose. We created Workday, we choose DV, worker data, and we give next. First of all, what we did is we identified the source and in that source what? Particularly if we select file, it will ask us which particular file to pick up on. Here we selected the report and here the specific report is DV worker data and give. Next, it will ask Mel what is the target. The target is automatically selected as the table worker data. If we are creating a data change task separately, then it will ask us which is the target table. But we are getting the data from this report. But in which table we are ingesting the data? We will be ingesting data in this table. And how it does want to insert? Does it want to insert it? Does it want to truncate it? If I click on truncate, it will say work. That is all existing data and it replaces with the target table data. Basically, it replaces the data with the newer one. Then there are options as delete, which will completely delete that data, and another is update the data. Workday updates existing data in based upon the data from the source. And there's an absurd if data. Difference between absurd and update is update will only update the data if, let's say, if there 3 workers data is available and we ingested 5 worker data, it will only update the data for the 3 workers only which are already there and rest 2. It won't update it. But in absurd, what it will do is it will update the existing one, and if there if there is no max found, it will append the data. Worker inserts the data from data source. It doesn't exist in the target table. There's a data if it does, got it? Yes. And then we keep next when we won't complete this because already this particular thing is with perform. Let me go to back here and mention funcate and insert. And next then here it will ask us for the mapping. We to map the fields basically. Here it will show what is the source data and target data. There are chances when the source and target might be different. Let's say here an employee, here's employee, it can be. Our source can be different name as it's not always necessary that it is the same. Here we are different to worker, but here it can be a full name as we want to map that this worker. Data will get into this column of the target table. Then this legal name will go into this column of the target table. We are just mapping that this data will flow into this column. This data will flow into this column, and to do it we need to see that the data type should be the same. Here in employee ID, the data type in the text format. Here in employee ID, here is also in a text format. This is instance to instance. Hide, it is also date to date, numeric to numeric. Then here multi-instance is there, a prime here, and it is also matching over here. Got it? And here you can see this. Three things will. These four things will be there by default. Why? Because we discussed when we load the data, this load ID will have the data unique ID. That particular load, let's say it's the load uploaded today. The ID might be that. The 10th of 4th October 2024, but it may be in a different naming convention, and it will have an add alphanumeric it, and it will have the load timestamp. What is load times in timestamp? It will have a date and time of the load when it was loaded. It will consider a time which is set up in the tenant. Let's say the setup is where is the tenant is set up in the east for est format. Then that time will show. If it is set up in A in est, it will show that time. Or let's say any time zone, if it's there, will show that time. But it is just for an understanding that. Let's say there is a load of, let's say, and there's a load of, let's say, load of 10 workers. And again that we appended the data of 10 workers, then there will be duplicate values. But here we will be able to identify that this is the old data based upon the timestamp and the load add. And then we will give next and we will review it and we will finish. It will load it and the process will work because we already done yesterday. We can do it again as not an issue. Continue finish once I give save. I can give save or I can give save and run now. Save and run now. What you'll do is save. We'll only save it and it will run if I give any frequency to run it. I want that report to run every day and once and one and once. It runs every day. I also want to update the table over here. Yes, but if I want to run it once, I will give save and run. And then you will be able to see that in the data change task. I will be able to see data change task. I will be able to see here. Let me see. I haven't packed that data change task. See, it is saying retrieving. It is retrieving the data. It is doing the process. Any confusion in this one? No. Basically, it's nothing. It is just our data change task activity. What we are doing is, let me explain in the Excel. It will be easy for you to here we have our data. Here the data is there, Workday report, and here we have a table worker. Data. This what it will do is, this will hold the data and this will hold it will. This will store the data. Let's say store the data. This is Prism environment. And this is Workday environment. Let us say external environment, external or Workday environment. Here what will happen is when we do a data change task is a connection which sends the data from Workday report to the table. It happens the data in here based upon the, if we give insert, if we give here, give trunket and insert upsert or update depending on the function. Basically, it's a bridge which is getting this data from Workday report and fetching over here, and in this bridge we will set up, we will map the fields that, let's say here the field is employee, it at this here different. Then we can change it accordingly. Got it? Got it? Any confusion in understanding this data change task? No, clear now. Now it's clear now. Likewise, here is the connection. connection. Now we created a data change task, correct. Now for the connection. Connection is a frequency on which it want to do. Let's say do create. I go to connections. What I will do is I will create a connection. Here we currently don't have any FTP credentials to do it. But when we do it in FTP, I will at an extent, I will show you when we create a connection SFTP. Here it is very much understandable. Let me show here. See here what was that in the data science task. It was getting the data from either file SFTP or anywhere and it was uploading. But in connection, what happens is we are creating a permanent connection which will fetch the file on a request on a regular frequency. I will show you here. I need to mention the connection type. I will mention that SAPE, which is a let's say system, a legacy system, from where we are getting the worker or the data. Because for the worker data, we create a report, but all data we are getting from SAPE, SIPE to Workday. And here we will name the file name. What happens is, what is the file name? What file name will give? File name is that's FTP. How's FTP works, or shall I explain FTP? Please explain it. FTP is what the full form of FTP is, Secure File Transfer Protocol. Let's say here, let's talk about the foundation. If I want to send you any file, but I want to send you securely, what I do is I don't let it. You send out your WhatsApp eye contact to the support team of the Cloud Foundation. They might be encrypting or doing some, or they might be sending you in an email to you. It's a safe process. To transfer the file, let's say I want to send you my bank details or very crucial information which is very critical over WhatsApp. It might be happen that my phone might get stolen and some might extend it and might check it. Same happens to file when I send one file to another system. Let's say here the system 1 is there and here system 2 is there. Let's say this is SAP and this is Workday. I'm sending this file from this, and while sending it via internet, some hacker might come over here and he might hack my file, and all the critical data might, and all my critical data can be lost. It can be in the market. What SFTP does is who doesn't directly send from one system to another. What it does is, rather than doing this, let me keep this over here. What it does is here, it creates a folder, cloud folder, which is known as SFP. SFP is what it is, a secure file transfer protocol. It will create just Google Cloud. It will have a cloud folder and it will have an address, and then except what SAP World do is it won't communicate directly to Workday to. System doesn't contact with them directly most of the time. What will this EFT will extract the file. It will send a file in this folder. It will fold in this folder. Let's say here the file name is, let's say, or data file. It will pull this file and it will pull. We are paste it over here. Then what Workday does is Workday will use this credential of SAFT and pull this file from this, and it will pull this from here to here. Got Basically, it's a mediator that this system will send this file and keep it over here. And this file and Workday will look the file in this in a SFTP and pull this from this folder. Got it? Will be. And now this putting the data and pulling the data, this cloud folder has been taken care by us. By securing it will have a password. Let's have a look. Here setup address. Will the SEFT address will be SEFP. We know that. We know our website is written it. will be HTTP. Let me open a Google here. You will see Google come. If I open a Google come, here we see TP. But here ends if it will be FP / and the name of it, let's say Walmart and file.walmart.com, then directory will be there. What is directory? Directory is address. If I show you here, let me open this one. Here, if I go to downloads, here you can see. I'm going from this PC to downloads. This is what? This is the directory. And let's say if let's go in a complex one. Let's say I'm going to program files. Here this PC local C. Local disk program file. This is what the directory, the path of it. Similar way, here we will give a path that once it goes to this particular website file.walmart, it will go to the data/report data. And it will go over here. And after reaching this particular, going to this website, it will go to data. It will go inside the report. And inside that, it will file this file name. Let's say I have given the file name as OGDetect. Here I have mentioned OGDetect. It will look this file under this folder. It will go to this website. Under data, under report, it will find for this particular file. If it is able to find this file, it will retrieve this file to the Workday. If not, it will throw an error that this file is not available in this particular address. This is nothing. This is just an address. And here we are using use stamp, file or not, it will be temporary. Allow the file to be overwritten only when the uploading is their attempt to read the file. What it is, doesn't it is create. It will create a temp file. It will delete it. Once it picks this, it will delete it. It's just an optional one. I can select and unselect this, but now what makes it secure? It makes it secure by mentioning the user ID and password here when we go to here, as I mentioned you in this one. Let me go to SSF. When this Workday looks into it, it faces a security. It will ask for the credential. What? They goes to a cloud folder and it will ask that give me the file or data or CSV. I'm here to look for auditor CSV file. Please give it to me. The safety bill asked for username and password when SAP dropped this file over. Here, it will mention that SAP will only provide me this credential. I don't need to get it from somewhere else. SAP will only provide me that I have dropped this file over here and use this username and password to log in into this particular folder and get this file. Let's say SAP has given me the username and credential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and the password was let's say workday @1, 2, 3 and I need to also verify it again. Once I do it, it'll do it, then 5 you will do this delete after retrieval. Let's say here there are two cases. When I retrieve this file over here, it should cut paste it or copy paste it. I am using very basic terminology, cut paste or copy paste. If it will copy paste it or this here or data will be there, it will be here as is here. But what if I want to cut? Pitch it in cut place. The file will be deleted from here and will be pitched over here. Here in our case, the file delete after retrieval, it will after it retrieves into the Workday, it will delete it from the SFTP folder and it decompresses it. Let's say it is what to compressed file. We did a compressed zip file, it will decompress it. You remember, I told you that we can compress the file when we upload it, then decrypt using, here we mentioned the key. Let's say we want to add another level of security where we are already using this FTP. We are sending this file, but here we could decrypt this here. file into a particular password, that's a key. Here the key is also already there in the system. It's already in the system, we just click it. Here what keys it is, it was completely non-Workday thing. What it does is it has a key that, let's say, if let me explain you on a basic level, I will explain, you won't be doing it, but I am just giving an example. What is this basic idea? Let's say in interview, if they ask you, you will be able to answer. Let's say if there is a text 1, 2, 3, but I am encrypting this into 0. I will give you a best example, which computer language uses. Let's say here, 1 is represented as a 0 and 1. I will use another letter A, and 2 is being denoted by a B, and 3 is being denoted by bar. And now let's say I want to, this is coded. Now let's say I to write 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I want to write in a coded language how it will write. I will type a B, and B, got it. First letter will be 1, second letter will be a B, 2, and B would represent 3. This is my key. How I will translate 1 to A? What does 2 means? It will mean a B. This is my key, a translation key. We won't be able to understand. We just need to select a key. They will only let us know what key to select. It will be different pairs. This is just in one example. We can code it to someone else as correct. Once it's done, we need to restrict that when it should work. If it's into, it will be limited into sandbox. If it is into sandbox, then only it should retire the file, or else it shouldn't be retrieving the file. And then we can give generally what exactly how you receive the files from a FTP, or where exactly in real-time scenarios. Real-time scenarios generally. Based upon my experience, we very rarely used by uploading the file. We generally what we do is we receive the file via SFTP because storing the data in a system is not good in terms of data privacy. Either we use FTP or we create a Workday report and create a data from there. Unless there is any particular limitation that we are not able to do SFTP. That is the difference. Basically uploading a file from our system when SFTPs are very same. SFTPs it is. Picking the file from someone else's system and uploading a file is uploading a file from our system. That is the only difference, but there is no confusion. Yes, in no real time. Here is we are. One of the option is FTP. People are generating some reports. Maybe they are direct Prism reports will come this direction. About the same reports also come similar way. They are also different. Connections, no report. We in data change task herein. If I say this is how report comes. Here, I mentioned here, I showed you here target. We created data change task for report. Data, since that's connections, is only for SFTP. Here you see, if I go again and go to connection, it will ask me to click FTP, Amazon S3 or Salesforce. Here, but when I give cancel and if I create this data change task, it will ask me for more options. I'll show you change options. It will ask for file. Upload Workday report data catalogs FP, Amazon 3. This one more options next. Yes, more options are there over here. Yes, this is how it works. It gives more options because it is a data change, as it will change the data and that other thing will fetch that things. Let me give over here and let's see how it works. It is asking for an error. The field verify is required. Must value verify. I want you mention 1, 2, 3. I will mention. I'm just randomly mentioning the things and you here you can see this is all configured. And now what I can do is I can use it. Prism can. I can test this connection and view this connection that for which I created it. What I can created is and I configured it into the air for any tenant, for any table. This card, here there are two ways to run an integration. One is that in data change task, I can configure it. What I can do is I can go over here, I can give run now. It will automatically update a table. Secondly, I can open the table here. Table is there. I can click over here and view. I will be run integration option. I'll go here our table, run it over integration just again. It already has took the data over here. It's not, but when I create it for the first time, it will show me run integration now. It will get the first tool for the first time. Here it is given. Can repeat the integrations. Can I show you? Yes, I'll create a table and I will mention to bill worker data. Copied and I will mention that I guess personal data and enable for analysis. I will. Pick mark, I will create these stats. Will affect anything. I don't affect anything. Just thanks I guess for just bags are just for. We are just lagging. We are just connecting with that. Just for reference. Let's say here there are two. Many. There are too many. If I go back, let me go to data catalog. Here there are too many data sets are there. It is for filtering out. Here you can see all data as I go. There are too many tables and datasets being created, but I want to find my work or my project later work. I will. I'm working on a personal data project. Apply filter. As you can see, I am getting only 7 filters. It is work as a filter. Filter by tags tagging is just nothing. Is just tagging it that this thing is belongs to this building, this belongs to this one categorizing of the thing. Basically, then we here choose Workday report and we create select worker. We select the report next. And here we see the schema and we give save. Now we can view table details. Here view table details and we go to window table details. Here it will ask more for run integration or run into just a second table edit. I need to create data change. Let me assign data change first to it. Change connection Workday report. It will receive this file from next onwards. Here I will truncate and insert and then mapping. Mapping will be I will keep as it is. There is no modifications over here. Next I would review it mapping, finish, save and run now. Yesterday's I was getting that option. I'm not sure why it's run integration view. Basically here, one method is to update the table with data change task. For base dataset, let me check for base dataset. Here, we pulled it with file upload. Where's the report created yesterday? What the reports it will ask for you. Run integration now. For base data set, you run the integration. It pulls the data from it. For tables, we use this data science task. Got it. Yes, I will run integration now and confirm it will fetch the data from that report. And will pull over here. In activities, you will be able to find it. Not in activities, basically, but in data change task, you will see it loading that it is getting the data from that particular one. Data change activities. This is data change activities for the table, and this is for data set activities which we kept on run. This one ran for 1 minute. What exactly integration means here and how integration you see don't go for. Terminology, it will be confusing. Integration is basically fetching the data, nothing else. No, 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 no. If that's the case, see the integration which we refer to in Workday is completely separate. I know it's very misleading. It shouldn't be integration, but here they have used that naming convention. We are not doing any specific thing, we are just updating the data asset with that data, but that's the only thing it happens over here if you see. The medications came here. Yes, yes, I understand that happens. Yes, yes. But here it's completely separate. That is how this thing works. Here it is showing. Activities which are currently working or successfully published, and then data change task. Now what we can do is here, when we go to all data, we will now learn how to publish it and share it. We are clear on this thing. You can just practice it once again and let me know in Monday session whether the concepts are clear for you or not. Sure. Then for publishing that data set, what we do is we go to derive data set. You already have done it. I go to first of all, I will explain to share once and I'll show how to publish it. When you click on share, already by default, all the Prism admin who are working, let's say I am Prism analyst. You're also Prism analyst or a Prism consultant. We both will be able to see all the data sets. But here we use this data set to show this data to other people. Other people, as in, let's say, I will show you. Let me click on this worker and shit. Other people, as in, let's say, payroll partner, or let me show you an option by organization type. Job profile. Not job profiles, but let me search by admin. Here are the different admins: absence partner and absence admin, contract data administrator, a finance administrator. Let's have created a data set for finance and I want to share that data set with the finance team and give them security to see the data, and I will share it with him. Now how it works here. Prism gives us two options: relax sharing rules and prevent relaxed sharing on derived data set. Here is two options that are already, the write-up is given, but what this setup means is that whoever enables this, whoever creates, who is the owner of this data set here, if I click this, then he will be able to owner of this data set can share it with other users and require those users. Basically, he will get, let's say, created a data set, and then I will get a permission to send it with whoever I want. But let's say here we want to restrict it, though I created it. I created a data set. I don't want me shared with anyone. I will select this prevent, relax sharing this option. Here, what happens is here, it will you when you enable this option. Revokes the relaxed sharing rules on downstream drive. It is, let's say, assume you are a data administrator, fine now, and I am a Prism consultant. I created a data set and now I want to share it with someone else, but I don't trust, and you are the data admin and you feel that I shouldn't be giving this power to the Prism consultant. He shouldn't be sharing the report data set with anyone. Then I will click this option, but if I don't click this one, and as a data admin, you want me as to share the data set with whoever I want, and you can share. This option understood? Yes, basically it's gives us security. Who can share the data with whom? If I give this one, that the owner of the data set can do it. If I revoke, if I tweet this, my as a owner, my all taxes will get revoked and only the data admin will be able to share the data set. The next option, who has the access? Here, who can own the data set, who can edit the data set, and who can view the data set. Here in the I can task, I can rather Prism. Prism is already there. That's a report administrator or not. Report administrator can own this report again or on this data set, or let's say data administrator is there. We will give this ownership of this. Data administrator will own the report. Who can edit this? I think there is no any role created for Prism. But let's say report admin can edit this report. Got. And now who can view this report? Who can view this report? Let's say I've created a finance report and I want to share this. I want to give this view access to finance admin. Finance admin, I will click this. Definitely the people who will own it will be able to view this report. I don't need to give extra to it. I can give here that data admin can also edit this report. Own can be only by data admin, but who can edit it? Data admin can also edit it and report administrator can be able to do it. And if they are able to own it and edit it, they are obviously able to view it as, but this is just for exclusive ownership or viewership. Sorry, only the finance admin can see it. Apart from this whole, people who are not from the data parts, I will do. Here's an error. Invalid security group must one of the security groups specify in the maintain security. Here I have to work on the security part. I need to mention the security groupings that is being look after the security person. I don't need to do it. Basically this all things will be configured. Just need to select it which whom to share it with. But yes, here you can see the error. Invalid security group. Security group must be one of the security groups specific in the maintain. Assignable roles restriction. For that I need to. For this finance admin, I need to give that. Access for this to see the Prism data and all. That is how this sharing works into. The Prism, any doubt in sharing this part? No, how we share it, I need to see its what basically we will get in practical scenario. Let's talk about the practical scenario. What practical scenario will have first of all you won't be sharing it as a Prism consultant. The data and we will be looking after it. In case they ask you what they will do is they will give you things that Roger, go ahead and share this report with this particular security group and give them access for this particular ones. They will give you all the things. You just need to put it over here in these columns, in these rows, and just need to give. That's it. What? Yes, that is how it works. And when you save and go give, then that particular person can go to the data catalog and see that data catalog over here. Here as a Prism developer, we are able to see 655 results. But when you share the data set with the data set with the finance person, You will be only able to see the data set which are shared with them, not the authors. I hope this concept is clear to you. Now what apart from share? What else I wanted to discuss? Just a second. I will see my notes. Publishing a dataset. Here, when you publish a dataset, let me go here. When you go to the dataset here, and I want to see the derived datasets, let me check if we have any existing ones. Worker data entries and view. We can see that it already has this data, first name, last name, log, and all details. And activity. I am not able to see anything. Why? Because I haven't published. When I publish it, it will be available for the reporting. You remember you on, I think, second or third day you published a dataset and we were able to create a report on that. Correct. Remember that. We will see again for this and which one. When we publish it and we go to this publish, we can also create a schedule. Why schedule? Let's say we created a lineage of datasets. Let's take your example. Here we created this RB. This was the one, the last one. I will open the lineage. No, not this one. I know we have this one. Let's say here now we are getting this data from this in these two tables. Table and data set, and it is giving of processing the data and it is processing the data in this data set and then we are publishing it. But what we do, but we want the data to be updated continuously. Here you saw that. We create a data, change starts and get the data on a frequent basis. But when we want to publish the data set on this, what we do is, let's say here we are having 10 worker data. And organization is hiring day by day new people. Let's say in this week it hired 10 people. In next week it hired 10 people. All these things is getting processed and getting stored in this. But this data won't be available until I publish it for the reporting needs. That's why I publish this data set on a regular interval. It is getting the data from the file and it is processing and keeping it. And from 10, it is appending the data. Let's say 10 workers are there. Next week, 5 people got hired. Now the data set is having 15 people data set. Then let's say 15 people got hired and it is having 30 people. If I published it today, if I publish it last week, it will only hold the data. For 10 workers only, I need to also update it. Publish it to publish it, I will create a schedule or I can create for one time. If I want to pull it, there is one option I can publish it one time. When I click over here, publish data set one time, and if I don't, then I create a schedule. Create a schedule. What is the frequency? Frequency is weekly frequency. I will ask that variety is high or normal. If we will give higher priority, it will run first. Let's say we are scheduling this every week on Monday. Monday it will run first. And recurring every week, every 1 week, every 2 week, every 3 week, we can mention it. Or every 4 week we can mention. We want every 1 week and it is mentioned days of the week. Here we can give Monday by type day of the week and we mentioned Monday, or we can give Wednesday as depending on our needs, and then start time. I want it to be run at 6 am. Morning, When people come and start working at 8 a.m., this report will be available. Let me go to 6 a.m. and it will give me 5 minute intervals. I can see that 6 a.m. at what time zone it should work, GMT. Los Angeles 6 a.m. It will work, but no, I want to work at PST time zone if it is available specific. What is the time zone for you? If you want to enter, but there will be some in Los Angeles. This is Los Angeles. Now it will work in GMT time zone. We have different time zones. If I see over here, default time zones, it will show me default time zone, which is a tenant time zone, and all time zone. It will show me all of them. Here GMT will be there. Then it will be on GMT. I need to convert it based upon the requirement for GMT, Ireland, Dublin, this, because all of them is there, and if you want to select the default one, it will go. Select the default one, and what is this? And catch up behavior, run once. Let's say if the integration failed, I will give run or run once. I will give it a second chance. Let's say if I've given a file and it failed, I will give a run once as here. Then start it. I want it to work for 1 year. For 2 months, I will start it. Is 7th and the end date is, let's say, December of this year, 31st. It will automatically end, and I will give now. This is an active schedule, and now it will get published on a daily basis. And let's say if I don't create a schedule, we created this I will keep it as it is, but I want to publish it. I will click on this, and I think this is the one we're picking, the incorrect one. We're telling it, I think this is the one I will go on this published. Published a dataset by this. It will publish that. I will give submit, and now I will see the process over here started 2 seconds in progress. If I have refresh it. Once it's done, I will show as complicated. After publishing, also this goes to reports. Yes, this goes to reports after discovery portal. Only who have access, then they will see, or anybody else you can see in the Workday. Whoever has a security permission. In Workday, I need to also assign the first of all. When this does, it is published as a data source. Once it is published as a data source, I, the security admin, whoever whoever maintains the security in the Workday, he then looks after this. With what name? You created the last one. Let me pull it out and show it to you. Sorry, DDS space RB custom worker report. No, I want the data object which. You created last time. Remember, you published a data set. That is the one, and the video is different. I think it would be different. I think it would be yes. This one. Here there are no fields. But let me check if this published. I will be able to see the fields. Sometimes it takes time to publish it. Last time we were able to see the fields. Only business of DS. I think this is the one it will have. Here you go. 6 fields are there, and data source is also this one. The security is being maintained by here. If I click on this, yes, security, we are not able to see, but the people who will have this access, you will be able to assign the security. Here, first of all, the categorization will be done. That this will fall under what details? It will fall under for worker data, or let's say here C category, and all things are empty. Here categorization can be done, that whether this thing falls under worker data, finance data, or let's say benefit data, payroll data, and based upon it the security will be given for a particular thing. And another example for this is, let's say I'm a worker in organization and I'm not able to see payroll data because I don't have securities to this field. To understand that, I am not able to see here security. Is there view security? Here I can. Secure analysis, security better in QV security, and this is tenant non-configure functionally. There is not non-configurable, it's not configured. Here in the domains, I can particular assign this particular domains here. For now, it is permitted. Security, all users can see the data, but I can edit that domain and I can restrict it to particular ones. Who's responsible? The security guy will look after it, not a security, because this is itself. It's a very complex and very different concept. It's a specialization, basically Workday Security Consultant. Here, we covered almost everything from the presentment. This is a beads, this is a dice, and this is a two-wheel. Now what happens is when we want to create a data source, in BSV we can always create a Ds from a BDs, DDs, and table. But we can also publish a data that is a data source and ingest that data into table. How I will see it when you go to create table here. You can see there is one additional thing what file upload is their existing table or data set. Create a table, schema, definition, and workday reports, or manually input here you can see. When we create a base data set, we won't be able to see existing table or data set. Why? Because when we create a table, we can use existing table or data set as their data source. And why? Why? Because let's say when we create a BDS, let's say here the data is that worker, is their worker, is their worker. At any time, if you're not able to understand, you can stop me and ask me employee and let's say countries there. These are the things which are there. Control C and Control V. Now let's say here also the same thing is flowing. Control C and Control V in this one. Now here what we are doing is, let's say this is BDS. It is getting the data from, let's say, custom report. Custom report is there. It is getting data from a custom report. Once you get the data, it will load all the data in employee, worker, and country. This 3-row data, we got column no. Any, no doubt still here. But when we get this data ahead of it, when we go to DDs, we are doing some transformation. We are applying a filter condition that country only user. Still these 3 columns are there. Nothing is removing. But these 3 columns are there. But when we are and we publish it, but then what we do is we create a table. Void it, just to store this data. The main purpose of the table is to store the data. When we want to store the data, we can store this data and use other DDS as. Why we do that? Because let's say in future, this is a test project. And in test project, let's say the requirement came that we want to remove country. It will impact all of them which are connected to it. And it will impact all the data set which are connected to it. But what we are doing is we are not doing that. We are using a table. What we will do is it will store the data. When we ingest any data from VDA to table or the beads from a table, it will save the data. It will take a snapshot of it. If I also delete it already, the data will be there. It won't get removed. It will still be there because it will save the entire there. But in the case of VDs, let's say created BDs, remove this column country. Then, and I have already created Bs and DDs, or these three columns are here and also here. But let's say deleted a country over here. It will show me an error in here that the country is not found in the source details. From where should I fetch it? Now you understand that table stores the data no matter if it is related from the previous table activities. That table or data set or whatever it is, it will still have that data already there. But in these terms, when we in BDS or DDS, when we remove any data from the previous one, it will automatically throw an error that the day we are not able to find it. Let me show you here. I'll do cancel discard and I will show you with your example. Only it will be easy for you to understand. Personal tag. Personal data and apply. And I think your lineage. I think this would be enough. I will show this one only at its transformation and I will also do edit transformation over here. In this tab, I have opened the base data set. And in this tab, I have opened the derived data set. Now, what we will do is here, what fields are there? Employee work. Let's see the fields from here. Employee worker, dependents, and all the columns are there. But in this column, also all the details are there. But when I, let's say, remove dependent here in the base data set, here what happened is based it that it is this base data set. It is getting data from custom report. It is then transferring to look data sets. If I delete any column here or here, it will show me an error on this. Let me show you. Let's say if I in the add stage manage field, what I will do is I will not delete it, but let's say hide it. I will hide this particular dependent and done. I'll give you as moment I do it and I will refresh this data set which is getting the data. It will come in error if I've used that particular one. You are not able to see it. It's completely went. And if I want the error, let me show you if I want an error. Then what? How does it look? Done and save. And let me refresh this one. Not this and this one. Dependent is visible here. And let's show you. Yes, it's there. Let's say here I am doing a manage field or manage field is. There I'm using manage field and changing the dependent, the invoice. I'm only just shorting the name I'm giving done and save. Now we know that we have both. The fields dependent over here and dependent over here. We have now, if I want to see the error, how the error comes. I will hide this and will you done and see what we are doing. We are doing in BDS and BDS. We have save. As soon as we do this here, if I refresh it, I will see an error that the particular this thing is not available. What should I modify to? And See, you got an error now here. The error is this one. If I go to this stage and edit, I'll be able to see error detected. Final dependent was not found. The previous stage. But same thing won't happen for a table. Yes, same thing won't happen for a table. Let's say if we have created a table, let's go for someone else. Table is we have created in. This is how you can utilize your skills and understanding that what they meant by if. They say that we want this particular is the difference between both of them. When to choose the table, when to choose BDS and when to choose BDS. Currently it is not. Let's create here, only create a table and let us remove this error. Done and save. Here we are creating a table, CBLR test, and we are giving it. The tag as report, not report, but personal. Existing and will mention. See now if I refresh this lineage. Table view lineage. See, now there are no connections over here. Why? Because basically it is completely a separate table which is storing our data. Let's see if I refresh this, and if we remove any of this, it won't show me error in this because it is not affected by it, because it stores the data in it. Let me go to edit in this one. And this is the derived data set in which I am removing it. Manage field. And I am hiding the depths department. And whenever you save, here, when I go to edit one, still I am able to see depth. Let me refresh it once. This I also did the changes. What I did is high, you are not able to see the department dependence, and I also saved it. But here if I see, I will stage the departments. See, it's still there, table. What it does is store the data. No matter if I delete the DS till it will have this all the fields because what it does is it stores the data. It works as storing the data. When you want to store any data and create a data source out of it, you will use stable, and when you want to create a source of the data, but you want to keep it dynamic, that once that this changes, other thing also changes, that you can use that this BDS. And when you want to do transformation on a data set, then you will be only able to do it in the derived data sets. Any confusion in understanding this concept? Or this is the basic difference between all of them. You have to choose according to your requirement, table BDS and DDS. Yes, and the practical scenario, if you want a practical example of it, what happens is, let's say I create a series of data set. Let's say I created too many data set, and now, as I told you, I want to use the same data at different places. What I can do is I can either, and I don't want to reflect the changes from the previous one, then I can publish a data table. at the end of it, or let's say I want to store that particular data and I don't want to move it anywhere, then I can basically use a table when I have to store the data. Got got the other. If you don't mind, I will go to the previous here. Can you elaborate? Let's move down the configure stages. Then, how many stages are based on the condition when you decide this one stages? Yes, based upon those stages. If I show it to you here, let me show this. I will be sharing this file as when we end it. These are calculations which are common use. These are the stages for the derived dataset. Join, union, group by, explode, and pivot. These are the least of one, or import will be the mandatory one, and you won't be able to remove it. The imposed is the first stage. You decide you're going to delete or add. This is the common one, but these, all the rest ones, all the stages are not mandatory to be used. If they say that I want to filter the data that country equals to user, then you should know that. Filter only be done in the filter condition, which is a filter stage, not the other stage that we discussed in this filter. A filter stage filters the data as per the required details. Then there's a managed field with change the field name. If I want to change the name of the field, I can do it by manage field. Got it? It is not necessary to use all from join union group by explode and reward all of them at a time. We only used as per the requirement. If I want to join the two data and want to take the only common data, let's say if I explained you here previously that let's say here there's 3 columns. Are there country? See, and let's say control V, and here the same thing is there, but here let's say phone number is there. Here I have this 3 things. I have 3 things here. What thing is unique is country and phone number are unique. Now these are both BDS, BDS and BDS. These two are BDS. Now what I want to create a day. I want to join it. How will I join it? Will I be able to do it in the base data set? No, I won't be able to be doing based on that because in base data set there are no stage with the name of join. In derived data set the join stage is there. What I will do is I will create a derived data set, and then I will join these fields. Join this field as in employee is there here. When I do a left join here, I will get a data of this and I also get the data of this. I have an option, unselect this, both of them that I don't want employed in worker because we are doing a mapping of it. We are using a key to mapping how it works. Let's say I will explain you here. Let's say 001 is there and here Zala 1 is there. Worker name is, let's move, 121 is there and 121 is there. And here the worker name is Steve and here also worker name is Steve and the country is, let's say, user. And the phone number is our 2345. Got it? In that case, this thing will be passed it as it is. No issues at all. To use your sky, no issues at all. But now what happened is when we map this thing, when it matches with the value, only then it will pull it. Let's say here 1, 2, 1 is there. In here 1, 2, 2 is there. And I'm matching, then all things thing will be blank null. Got it? Because it is not able to match it. Got it? When we come across in that second, repeat that one in when will be null. Sorry, where it will be null when the values won't match. Here what? When we join it, we use a key. I explain you. We use a join such as employee or worker name. What that key means? Key means that it will find 1 to 1 because it here we are using this one. It will find the same thing in this one. If it will find that, then only it will bring the data. Let's say here is 1, 2, 1 is there. What join will do? Join will first of all identify that row number 1, employee 121 is there. Let us find the 121 over here. It matched. If it matches, it will pull this, all the details for that particular worker. But let's say here 2021 is not there and 22 is there, then it won't pull it because this employee is there, not matching with this employee got it. Here is the very least of worker. Let's say 1 and 21 is there with the name of Logan. Let's say here this is Logan and this is Steve. Here in this case, it will pull only the data of Steve only and not Logan. Why? Because 121 matched with this 121 will pull this data and not the Logan's data. Why? Because here Logan data is not there. Got any confusions in understanding? You can ask again. I won't judge you that you are asking again. It's very important to clear the concepts. That's the only thing. This is clear. Now this one in this section. This is the concept of drawing. You can take a note of it as if you want this understanding that you can use this logic just for understanding. Let me change it to 6, 7, 8, 9 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is what type of join. This is join as left outer join, left outer join. This is how the join works. But now what I want to do a union. Let's say I want to do a union of it and let's say here this is not there. This is there. What will happen is this is 1 to 1, 1 to 2. I want to merge these two data. I will get a data. Let's control C, photo V. Let me change it to the transpose. Let me remove this and phone number. This will be the better example for you to understand D's. Employee is there. Now when I do a union of it, what will happen is first of all here 1 to 1. Is there employee 1 to 1? Will come, Steve will come this side and USA will come this side. But because here that controls it. See, here you can see that we are doing a union of it. What it does is basically gathers the thing together and it merges the data. Here I will get null. Why? Can you explain why it will give me null when I do the union of it? This both for phone number. The phone number dies and union. What? I will explain because here 1, 2, 1 is there. And here the matching is not there. If it is matching, it will then give me the phone number. Where it is no matching is there. What it will do is if it will sign the matching, it will put it together and if not, it will create in another line. Likewise, 122 is there, Logan is there. Here country will be null and here the phone number will be this one. Why? Because here Logan is not there and here the phone number is not there. Whatever values are not we are able to find it, it will be null. Basically, it's you naming both of the both. Yes, you name is basically merging of the data. But let's say in this example, I will just give one more example for this. Let's say we have this data in this format, but rather than country, here country is London. Now, if this is the case now, what will be working? Can you explain me now that here now we are doing a union of it of this. This is one table, this is one table data and this is one data. Basically, in this scenario for employee 122, we get other information as what is that phone. Can you let me know if this cross draw will be there or not? 121, Steve will be there. And if yes, what? Yes, it will be there. And what are the fields it will be? It will pull me employee ID, worker, country, and what? And other name also. Other employee ID and worker. Yes, here it won't give me phone number because phone number wasn't there. But because in this 1 to 2, it is what it is doing is it is doing union of this both. And it found out that employer is in both. In both the information is there. Here 1 to 2 Logan and not null, but London will be there. Good. This is what union works. This is thing. See, theoretically you will understand the next time, but the more you will practice, the more you will be able to understand more. That is why I prefer to do more hands on it. You will get an idea how the data reflect. And let's say you join something and you got everything null, then don't panic. There is a bug in Prism that when you publish it, you won't see you will see Zhao over there, or you won't. You will see the data blank, but the data doesn't get refreshed in Prism sometimes. There is an issue, but because the data is also that one big, that is the issue behind it. Want to and any more points from this? Second, how to create a calculate formula. Maybe can you calculate? Can you explain one more time? Sure, let me explain you. I will show this one cell field. I have this one. These are the most common used spell. This is a prim function. It removes the leading and frail spaces. Let me show it in here. Employee is there. VDSR report here. Employee is there. Let me go to retail data. Now, what is the requirement is here. Requirement is 2D101, but now I came to know that 2 is prefix for all of them, and I don't want 2 as a repetition. I can trim it, or if there's a leading space, I can remove it. Let me create and this is a VDOS. I want to do it here. Add open. I'll go for trim function. What prim does is returns one value. That prim is a row function that removes leading and trailing spaces. Let's say here the 2D101 is there, and here let's say there is a leading space. A space is there. Before that, I can remove it with the help of prim. Then the thing which I told you, let's say I don't want 2 over here. I can do it with a substring. I want only 21. I want only the prefix only. They can do it. First thing is what? First, I will explain you that this trim one. Prim is what? Remove leading spaces and trail spaces. This is very simple. You understood this one because we removed in the beginning and we don't have our data at trail leading spaces are not there. It is because of that. The water leading spaces that, let's say here I'm typing dev and then I have one space. These are the trailing space. This thing is a trailing space. This blue thing which is highlighting this is a trailing space. If you see, if you select it, if I select only there, I will be only selected. This is the only selection of there. But if I select this is selecting a white space. If I want to remove this white space, I can do it using the trim function, or this is the leading one. Let's say this is the leading. Here, this is the only selection to give, and this is the white space in the beginning. You can see the white space. I'm selecting and deselecting it. Got it? White space is basically something that is additional space, but it doesn't contain any data. Let me see if I get any information regarding white space. White space character images. Basically, these are the white spaces to copy paste. These are the between spaces are white spaces. In here there is none. Difference is more between this. Then it reduces, reduces, reduces. It depends how much white space is there in between. It's up to us if you want to remove white spaces or not. Confusion in Prim, or shall I explain you with any practical scenario? Trialing your leading spaces, basically using now. Yes? Yes, then comes the substring. Substring is a thing where I want to remove, I want to return. Specific, I want to cut any values from it. Let's say I want to only want the remaining last two. What I can do is I can go to here and I can go for let me check. Substring. Substring is what start and end. Here if I use substring, write substring and what I want to do is I want to substring and the square bracket. I will mention the Kali fields or the field name always in Prism if I want to. Name of field, it will be in a square bracket. Employee ID, what I want to do is I want to remove the remaining one. Let's say 2001 is there. I want to start it from 1 and then up to 4. I want to take it and I give up line. See here what happens is here I give 10. Let me close this here I give this. I want to remove this one, but accidentally I forgot to count that one is the beginning of it. Here I just need to modify my calculated field here. Rather than 4, I will give 5. Up to 5 it will do it and I will give done. The thing which comes under that, C101, it came here, I will show you. Let met 2 and 10G what it is with substring date. We remove the 2. We can also use this one as this is what to attend in the length of a text using a substring function if you want to remove unwanted anything that we can do it over here. What one the denotes is 1 is the starting one, that one. 1 is that after 1, it will take after 1. That is 2, it will negate. And after 1, this first character, it will start substringing. And the end one is here. 1, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth character. Up to which character? Fifth character. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is the starting. After 1, it will start doing it. After fifth character, up to fifth character, it will do the substring. Clear out substring. Then see length. Let's say in practical scenario, if I explain length, what happens is when we work on employee ID, sometimes what happens is that sometimes, see in all the companies, there is a standard of employees. There's no fix. Any employee ID, there's no change. In employee, let's say employees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's a 5 character. It won't go more than 5 sector. It will be within the sequence only good, got it. But let's say sometimes what happens is people mistakenly keep as 0 as in the beginning, or let's say here 1 in the end. This is what it increases its size. I know that in my company, in my organization, the length of employee ID is not more than 5 characters. If I want to identify that if it is more than 5 or not, I can do it by length, length, length. And then in bracket, I will type as employee ID and then done. What it will pull me? It will pull me the length of my employee ID. If I close this one, if I show you here, it is coming as 5. Why? Because this 2, 1, 0, 0. One is a 5-character length. Got it. It is good. If I want to see the op bit, I can do that for op add. See, I will go here and I will give a load here and give, because it's a text I can do. I can find the length of it. It will pull me a length of it here. If you can see, it's a 32 length. I know that the load ID is 32 length and not more than that. It's same for all of them. But it that yes, yes. Then there is a text. Is a concate. Concate is I want to, yes, concate. When I want to join two things together, two text values together, that what I can do is, let's say I want to concate I two text characters here. What are the text characters? Employee and UPAD here are over here. Now I want that this is there. I want to concrete it together. What I can do is I can go here and I can remove this. I can type that concatenate the employee ID with the WPA stamp ID and give them. See here you can. See, it has concatenate over here, but here it's not visible. I'm not able to identify from where it is starting. What I want to do is I can add another element over here. What I can add? Here I can do inverted comma and I can mention star 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 and then inverted close. And then comma again, and when I give done, what I did is AI here. I am not only connecting this to existing one, but if there's no anything existing one, as then also I can add additional text over here. As if I want to add Dave over here, I can do that and I can get done. Here it will come as it will concatenate employee, and this is a static one. I think this is called dynamics. What are I employed is there, it will come over here. But Dave is a fixed one. It is same for all of them. It will come as fixed. One got it. Here, what you are doing is connecting two things together. Then we cleared for concatenate all, then here we are using for case. For case, we need to check if we have for worker I need, we need to convert it. Let me check if I am able to do it. Length of worker. I will. Most likely it will be applied for text only, not for instance. Yes, what I can do is I can convert it to string dude strips worker apply. Here, this is my handler view. Imagine if a minute AK is hard. It was fine. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Currently, we don't have such case to show you, but I'm checking if I'm able to do it. Existing field or not. Express the spring button, still receive a source. More sure, it won't work because we need current. You can't write expression currency. Is it a numeric or one? If it's a numeric one, what you can do is, and you can give 0, and here we can give as 1 apply. I won't be able to compare this together because it's a currency field. What else? I can give example of a timestamp, not for timestamp as 102 case when let me you for employee itself is employee ID. Employee ID is less than 21, but it's not currency. Actually, there's no any example for it. Is there any cull field to show it to you? But basically, if it's an else condition, I'm not able to find any solution for it. Let me check if I'm able to see the existing ones. Have you created a data set which has that gender into it or any basic asset? I created BDS, TDS and other things also last time. I want a worker data for it. That is what I was looking for. BDS. Being long. Border. I mean, I can check if I can explain other calculations. I don't know why it is taking much, or maybe it's data change activities. It might be. we can do on 8? What we can do is we can go to 8, add a field here, and we can mention that case when she's less than 40, then it will give me 0. Else, if it is greater than, if it is greater than, if it is greater than 48, would give me 1 and else, and this is what if the age is less than 40, it will give me 0, and if it's more, if it's more than, definitely it's a two-way thing. If it's less than or more than 40, if it is more than 42, game 1, I think you up. Apply, I will be able to see this particular thing into the working. Here you can see I'm getting 1, 1 for all of them, because those are the greater than 1, greater than that. Now I want to filter it and want to check how many results are there. Let's say add a filter. I want to see this new field which I created. I want to see which is equal to 1 or equal to 0, because I'm getting all the workers with the ages 1. I'm getting 1. Yes, now I will be able to see here 0 is there. You can see all these workers. Our age is 0, 37 less than 40. See, all of them are less than 40, and here the call this thing is retiring me 0. This is used for creating these cases. The scenarios, whether we get the things in if and else condition. Got it, got it. This is how we do the working. Then let me explain another scenario. Conversion. We explained. We covered a toDate, toString. Trying to convert anything into text field, numeric into text. I can use this. This is the conversion basically. It converts a date into text, into details. Then there are add and truncate date and today. Let's say if I am running this report and I want to get the today's date. I created cal field and I mentioned here that today. And I give apply. What it will do is it will fill this field, it will column. With the today's date is 710, 710, 710. If I run it tomorrow, it will give me 810, 810, 810. Accordingly got it. It's a dynamic field. It gives me today's date. Now let's say I want to add the field, let's say the year. The load time is 7 October, 7 October, and I want to add here. What I will do is date add, and in which I want to add in high date. Let's say I want to go for high date. I want a dynamic one. High date, and here I will see the formula for date add. Here we go. Date. Here what it says is date plus how many things to enter, and then this one, what I want to do is date I want to enter. I want to add 1 month to the higher date. I will do 1. This, and then I will mention the interval as month. Let me remove this. Here, let me show you the hide date of Logan. Let me hide other things. It will be easy for you to compare. Preview. See, here is the hide it, and here is a new field which we created with the formula. Correct. Here you can see hide it is 1000 year. The month has been changed to the second one for all of them. See, it has changed. Let me go for other date as if it comes. See, here are the other days. Here are 19 means 9 is there and there's the month. 9 January, it has become 9 February. This, we are adding the month. We can add the date as if you want to add 1. Data's here. Let me go and give a cancel on it, and let me change this last formula for the not day, but means not month but day. I'll give this and go to manage fields here, and let me hide the rest review. See, here you can see the date has been increased by 1. Here is 1. It has become 2. And if I scroll down, where there are more options available, 4 has become 5, 16 becomes 17. That these are the calculations. Most fields are most used. I have entered here in this one, which you can refer it out, you can just practice it. These are very easy to understand. Minimum, maximum. This is very easy for you to understand it. It is not that tough, and I found to see the average of it. Also, I can do the average. Let's make you cancel. And what I want to do is I want to see the average field. I will do the average. Average of what I want to do. And average of h and done, I will get an average. What is issue? Expression use functions. Incorrectly. I didn't mean to drive. I'm using something incorrect. I'll see average. What is the formula of average? Average sales. There are more dependency to this average ones, but let me go to max. Max is also over partition employee. This is a multiple calculates. I mean, it's a multiple max sales work portion, max sales over a particular portion partition by employee or order by doors. This is how we find it. This is how we check it. But basically, it's grouping the data based upon the max. Let's say I want to group the data based upon a particular department. Let's say I fetch this data and this is a particular department that says sales. The data is mix of all site data, but I want match age for that particular department. Only then I can enter that field over here. These are all the things you can have a look at. You will get a better understanding. The key is to practice more. The more you will practice, you will get an understanding. I will teach, but it will be a kind of practical and theory vote. But the more you practice, will face some practical scenarios. You will face some error. You will get to know that which field type are covered into it. If I see this age in here, conversion. Also or in date, here it will mention that for this particular condition I need to have this particular thing, that let's say if I want to convert to string, it should be anything. Apart from string, it should be numeric or something else. Correct. That's the thing. Let's start at least drive for now a basic idea about the discovery board. Is it fun? Please. Discovery board is very easy. Easy in terms of understand the concept. The discovery board is what? Discovery board is an embedded ad hoc reporting analytical tool within the Workday. What are the discover? Who are the? Who are the? Not exactly competitors, but kind of expert competitors. Just Tableau, it is a visualization tool. It helps in visualizing the data. Tableau discovery board can be said as the competitor one, but Tableau is way advanced. It is not directly comparable, but you can maybe relate it to it. What it is, ad hoc reporting and ad hoc reporting. We can create an ad hoc requirement within the Workday. They enable to perform drag and drop analysis on the data within the data sources. Let's say if there is a data set available, a worker for HCM reporting, and I have to create a chart on it, how will I do it? I'll be doing it with the help of Discover reports. I can do that. Then each sheet may consist of one or more visualization, and visual sheets and sheet will have different visualization to it and work. They will have what the discovery board will have. It will have all the prism data sources and some deliver Workday delivered in this data. And sources will be there. Not all of them will be there at some extent index 1. Why? Because discovery boards takes a lot of time to process the data, most of the time selected about the liver. Triple data sources, which are especially the index ones, will be able to show. You will be able to sheet. See it how you will be able to access this discovery board. First of all, to see how you can create it, you need to go to your profile. Click on this and go to Drive. Here in the Prism, there was list of things. What you should have, what shouldn't have. What drive? It is simple. You just need to have access to the domain, which is Discovery Board. Create. This is the Discovery Board. This is a domain name which you have access to. And also the domain or functional area. Drive, function area of crime, if functional area drive, these are. The two things only which is required. Basically, those are the already things available. If you enable the Prism drive, also people generally enable for you. When I go to work or profile, I click on driver space will open. Open up. Here it will show me drive my files shared with me, favorite recent, templates. Consider as a Google Drive that all the things will be there. This is a symbol of discovery wood. The graph is there and line graph is at that is that discovery wood. To create a new dry discovery wood, I need to create a new and go to. I'm getting different option discovery board. Document, template, notification, time representation, workbook, folder, upload. I will go to discovery board. It will ask me the name. I will mention DV worker data. This is the name I will create. Once I create it, it will take me to the main view of how the discovery board looks. Here you can see in this page, I have get many options. The top part is a common one. Here, the first part is this on this end. Here it is data source panel. Data source panel will consist of all the data source available in the Workday which are indexed and which are enabled for the discovery board, not all of that your order. Data sources. I can select any of the data sources. Let's say here I am selecting worker for HCM reporting. I click on it, it will get selected it will ask me that you selected the data source we want to have. A data source filter. It is same as reporting. It will ask me data source. Filter. I don't know. No, change it. I want to keep as it is. I give back. I have selected this worker for this reporting. This is a data source panel which will have all the data source which are indexed and enabled for discovery boards available over here. Then this pen symbol, this is a builder panel. What does this builder panel means? Builder panel has two things. First of all the fields which are available for the data source. That worker business object for the data source, let's say worker for HCM reporting, which has primary business object worker will consist of all these fields based upon the category. Let's say I go for organization, or let's say I go to some and talent. I'll click on it. I'll get details I'll get fields related to talent, potential retention. And let's say if I go to for address and phone info, I will get all the info related to that. And let's say if I select one thing, I can drag and drop over here. Come on it. I'll just first of all introduce to the panel part what this is. What is this? Builder panel, and this is a column. Let's say I want to use it. I will drag and drop it over here. And I'm good to go with the visualization. Then the next, then we knew that in the builder panel, the left part is the all the things covering the fields which are available for the data source and for primary business object on the side. This is the type of visualization which I want. When I click on it, I will get all the visualization which are available over here. Table, donut chart, chart pivot, table or waterfall, KPI, heat maps, cat water is all other available ones. The most used ones are table, donut chart, chart, pivot table, and here line chart, bar chart. There are other as which are used, but these are very least used, and depending on your requirement, basically you need that data. You need to first of all have the data in order to do it. We will cover the mostly used ones. Rest you can also explore it, but basically are the these are the ones which are based upon the requirements, and the rest which are I told you which are widely used, that are the one which it doesn't require any particular fields to be have or particular data to be have in order to work on it. And when I hear I'm on table, you can see I'm only getting columns, but let's I switched on the donut chart. I got this things change angle and color. We will discuss in detail in later part, but I'm just giving an overview of it. Then this is a filter panel. When I click on filter panel, I will get a filter. That shall I want to do. I want to apply filter on a sheet filter or a this is sheet. Sheet might be multiple in one discovery board. This is sheet 1. If I add it over here, it will be sheet 2. If I add a sheet 3, each sheet can have multiple visualization. Let's say add a viz from here. I got viz 1. Viz 4. I will add one more. Is viz 5 got it? Here I can see that filter can be applied to a street filter. Let's say I apply sheet filter. It will be applicable for all the visualization under that particular sheet. But let's say if I enter this filter, I will be only applied a filter to its particular visualization, this particular one, this one. I select this and I give this fish filter. It will be only applicable to this, not all the visualization under the sheet. Got it? Yes, this is a filter. How it works, then this is a configuration panel. Configuration panel will be enabled once we select the data into it and be able to drag it there, drill in the data in more detail, cover it how, be able to do it. I'll give an overview of it, then come to formatting panel. The formatting panel will also be enabled once we do it in detail that we cover. Basically, it's changing the color of the columns or the date or the bar chart and all. Apart from this, here is a share option. I can select, click on it. I can share the discovery board with the person who I need to share it. If I share it, share with individual, I can enter the name. Let's say I want to share with Logan McNeil. I can share it with Logan McNeil and I will mention that I need to view edit or view or edit access if I want to share it with all the HR partners, or let's say benefit compensation partners. Basically, it's not prompting, but when I type it, it will show just in Logan. It came. I type Logan, it will came, but because the list might be having more, it is not coming. I can mention if I want to share with individual or a group and I am both of them, I can give you an edit access. Got who has access? I can see. If I click on who has access, I can see the Caroline. Caroline Allen is the person with we are logging into. We are the owner of it. We have the owner permission of it. Let's say if I add Logan as Logan, mail and I give and I add it, access and share, and when I revisit it over, here I can see Logan as over here. I can also change my permission. See, once I give the permission, I can do it and I can see that share with one person. I can select and see it and I can change it anytime I want. Transfer the ownership here. The Caroline, we are the owner now. We can transfer ownership to Logan as once. He gets the ownership, then we won't be able to give, thus he can't share it with anyone. The owner is only has the access to share those things to each other. Close. Here is the redo and undo. Here is the undo. Let's say if I did anything by mistake, I can reverse it and I can redo it again. Here's a save option. Whenever you work, it is very important you save it because that's data catalog data set which we created. If you won't save it and if you close it, all the working will go. Oh, here is the control panel. Let's say if I apply a filter over here and I enable it for control panel, that filter will be available over here. I don't need to every time go to this particular thing and all. Let's say there's a call field with the name of gender which I need to change it every time and to compare male and female every time. If I want to keep it handy, no doubt I have. I have kept 10 filters over here, and out of the 10 filters, I want one filter, which is gender to be dynamic, which I want to change it every time. I can go send it to the control panel over here. I can change it every time. I don't need to go and search every time for this. One, any questions regarding this, understanding the part of this thing? Farbert, as I mentioned, it looks understandable, but unless until I practice. I don't know, it looks nice and easy while teaching, practicing. Is hard, no problem, I got it. I got it, the idea what you're explaining. It makes sense also. I do have familiarized these kind of dashboards. I'm basically in data side. I have exposure, but no, that's fine, that's fine. Here, whenever you go to data, here is option. If you click on it, it will show only curated data source, curated and the ones which let's say if I don't say if I undo it, I will be see more data sets, data sources. If this is tick mark, I will see only curated ones. Curated ones are curated. Means the one which are curated which have very less fields or limited data available. Let's say I created work for HCM, but all the fields won't be there for it, or the data sources we doesn't have all the data. It is something similar to the index one. We remember we have two data sources in the world in Workday. One is the standard data source and one is the index data source. The index data source runs very quickly because it has very limited data. Limited data in sense limited fields are available, not all the fields are available as compared to standard ones. The same concept applies over here as or when I keep a click show. Curated ones, only the curated, the indexed ones, or which these are optimized for discovery boards. It will be only shown to me. If I untick it and all the remaining ones will also be visible over here. Let's say click on it. Worker for HCM reporting, and let me delete this and delete, and let me delete this as now we want to. What we need to do is we want to create a report in which it is showing us regarding how we can work on gender. How many genders are there? And we want to create a donut chart. What we will do is we will go to gender and we'll pull over here When you pull this, it will automatically enable the one which we want to do it. Let me remove it for now. Let me remove it for now and show you again when I click gender. You can see when I'm pulling over here, the angle is being disabled, only the color one is enabled. By this, what I mean is the angle. One will have another field type and then this gender is only applicable for this color one. I'll drop over here. Once I drop it, it will do the processing over here. And by processing, it found out that total 806 people are there in the organization. Out of active employees are there in the organization. Out of it, 183 are 185 are blank, which is accounts to 20.1, 70% of the total workforce. Here, then the female ratio is higher, which is 34%, which is 274, and then males are 43%. Males are higher than the female ones, which is 43%. And this is the one. This is how we create a visualization. When I click on this, I will get a description. Let's say I want to add a description. I can add a description, I can duplicate it, I can create a report out of it, or I can download it as a fee or image. I can also change the name of the report. Let's say I want to gender with. I want to name it as gender by chart. I can name it as I can also name this sheet as worker data. I can name it. Got it. We can also rename the sheet and the visualization based upon our needs. Let's say I want to create a similar thing, but a nominal modification. I can duplicate it as once I duplicate it, I can make the changes on it. This is what we created a pie chart. Now what we want to do is let's say we want to add a visualization over here and we want to create a chart having salaries of the people in the organization. Let's say support is there and let me change the visualization. From here to, let's say I want to change it to bar chart. In bar chart, orientation are there. Do I want the vertical ones or the horizontal ones? And I can do all the grouping as a grouping as in it is taking one on each other, or how do you want to make it look? It's up to me. And what I want to keep in y-axis and x-axis and the color of it. Let's say here I keep on the y-axis, I will be supervised organization. What it will do is it will show me all the supervisor organization which are the available over here. But now let's say I want to see now. Gender ratio in here. Gender ratio I can drop here, trip listed. Here we got this the same thing, but in a graphical representation way. When I change the orientation horizontal, it will change to horizontal. On time got it, but I say keep it vertical. And here the grouping is there. This one I effectively stake. Tip, if there are multiple values, it will stake one opponent. Then here the staking will be there. But here let's see. The gender is 274, male are. More than this one. In this one, what will happen? It will be longer and shorter depending on it, and this one, it will be equally stick no matter what it is. Both will be higher ones only means it will be equal. See in the image, only you'll be able to see it will be 100% stick. It will be 100%, but we will be able to. When we hover, it will be able to see that. This is 249348. We don't have that data type to see. Yes, it's working 100%. These are all equals. When I go to area, I will be able to see this is 348, this is 274. Understood. This is a different difference based upon different requirements. This is some basic example which I showed for gender. We can also see that how much total base pay is their base pay. Annual base pay currency is there. Replacing. Oh, currency is dead. Also, let's say I want to sum this one. When I click this, and this time I will be getting the sum. Let's say bring the sum in y-axis. Here you can see x-axis has been disabled and y-axis has been enabled. I will drop the sum of it. I will be able to see the sum of the salaries based upon. This at least one field will be to there, should be in this one. I want to see based upon the gender what is the total. Base pay I can give over here and I can send it to x-axis. They want to see that in which gender is earning how much. What is the allocation of the gender? When I click on this, I will see that the total earning of all that the females in our organization is it's this much, this particular amount, and the male. Here I can see the male are earning more than the females. These are the kind of visualization which we work on. And let's say if I want to change the type as I can do that based upon my requirement, cover the next thing in the next class because it will be too much information for you and also you will be we're going because also you'll be working on that prism side. I don't want to overburden you for that. No, thank you. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.